Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the final for the Iron Gauntlet of 2015. I am Trent Dennison. We have Simon Hall playing Trolls and Grissel1 versus Michael Blyth playing Cryx and Skarre1. I have with me my co-commentators, James Morehouse. Hello, James.
Hello.
And Benjamin Leaper. Say hello, Benjamin.
Hello, Benjamin.
Oh, hello.
And that joke is working magnificently on the second run through.
This is pretty exciting. 2 Aussies in the final, which is good. Blythy representing Cryx as he always does, and Nipples has been a bit of a faction hopper, but now he's playing Trolls.
So we're going to run through the lists in a moment, but Blythy has won first turn and has taken it. The scenario is Destruction, so Simon maybe has an opportunity to look for a scenario victory again. Destruction plays pretty heavily into Troll's hands, I think. Let's run through the lists. Penny, do you want to tell us about Nipple's lists?
So Nips has got Grissel1 again with the Pyre and the Impaler. This time he's taken in Dozer and Smeek. He's only heavy war beasts across his 3 lists. He's got 2 Fell Callers, Stone Type Chronicler, Saxon and Janissa again. Min Krillstone Warriors with UA and the 3 Cabers in the unit. Max Long Riders, Max Burrowers, 1 Max Unit of Warders, Max Femblades with UA, minimum Stone this time with UA, which is interesting because he has a lot of models to try and fit into that Min Stone aura, and he has taken the Armory objective. James, do you want to run us through P-Scar?
Sure. Are you implying that he did not have Mulg in any 3 of his lists? That is a revolutionary tactic. Any thoughts on... Yeah?
Or an Axa.
Yeah. Okay, so Blythy has got P-Scar, Skarlock and a Kraken as his battle group. Can it just start yelling at him? I love Scotland. Okay, so P-Scar, Skarlock and a Kraken. Tartarus, a Roids captain, which is presumably a Raider captain. Saxon Orc, a Warwitch Siren, Necrotech and Scrap Thralls. Max Raiders with the UA. 10 Thralls, Maximum Bane Knights and 2 Necrosurgeons. And by Maximum Bane Knights I mean all 3 units, so FA3, 3 max units.
So one thing I just want to point out, Blythy very wisely opting not to take the Blood Hag and UA because he didn't have one in any of his 3 lists.
That's a very interesting tech there. So we've got a list, no Blood Hag with UA across all 3 lists, no Dara across all 3 lists, versus a guy with no Mulg across all 3 lists or an Axa. So,
well, he does have the Krillstone. We actually spoke about this in the car. I said, look, you could probably get away without the Krillstone if you wanted, because I'm pretty sure he doesn't have Soul Hunters or Blood Witches. No, it's true. And I don't actually think he needs magic attacks across all Blythy's lists, which is, 75 points out of 150 points. It's a lot to think about.
The +1 strength is probably...
Yeah, the Krillstone does have other benefits like +2 armor, which is usually pretty handy for the troll armies. You probably still want to take 1. But you could go without it, I guess.
Simon's objective as well is Valor, which is useful for his army. The Fenblades aren't fearless. Blythy's objective is Valor, obviously for the Statixis, doing well there.
Simon's is the self-sacking armory,
which is understandable. The scenario is Destruction, so obviously anything that is a bit of a deader scenario is good for Trolls.
Alright, so initial thoughts on this game. If you look at the table, Blythy has put his Kraken directly opposite a fence and the hill. He's probably going to go put the Kraken on the hill. I think he's put the Kraken in the wrong spot. The Kraken should have been on the other side of the fence without the objective blocking his way. That objective is going to cause the Kraken a lot of problems. Now, he's got the Raiders to really cause some problems for Simon, but if Simon is able to clear the Raiders without much difficulty, I think Simon starts the game by scoring in the zone for 3 points with Gristle's feet.
I think what Simon needs to do here is hope that Blythy puts one of the Raiders close enough forward that he can potentially charge out with Gristle, try and catch them in the no orders range so they can't then charge in. If they can charge in, then they're going to cause him all sorts of trouble.
Or I think Simon just goes for Calamity on the Raiders and tries to kill them with Fenblades. I think that's his play.
Yeah, that also. Blythy has the Fearless objective, I'm assuming? Yeah, okay. So the scenario here is probably don't cop 30 Bay Knights to the face rather than Destruction, but I think the 2 aren't mutually exclusive.
I think the scenario is don't cop 30 to 35 Bane Knights in the face because Tartarus is in the list.
That's true.
Dark Guided Power Effective 19 Tartarus will do a lot of work. But the Blood Hag, not present, gotta say that's you gotta say that he doesn't have one in his 3 lists.
It's an interesting choice.
I think you've got to say that's a mistake.
I think it's a mistake to not have a Storm Troll, and it's a mistake to not have a Blood Hag or Daryl Wraith in your 3 list. Daryl Wraith in this list right now, Blythe is home by a fucking country mile.
Those Raiders are running awfully far first turn.
So Blythe is off.
Not only could he hit them with no orders, he could also hit them with the Calamity as well. So he could double dip here and really shut them down from doing anything next turn. They'll only be able to walk up, which I'm not sure if Blythe has played against P. Gristle much. Otherwise, I think he'll be a lot more cagey with those Raiders.
How do you think these casters scale to 75? Because, I mean, P-Scar obviously has the same size control area, but more models to fit in it for +5 strength and armor.
But the medium bases is a lot different.
Exactly.
Medium bases change that a lot.
Exactly.
Anything like scattergunners or like sprays or bulk AoEs, the bunching up inside her control area is not a massive concern. And with the Bane Knights being what they are, like they'll present like multiple turns of hitting power, so you don't need to get them all in there for the feet. I don't think you should have too much trouble with it.
I mean, I feel like Simon has enough models on the board, and with his feet attacks, he's got the capacity to go through Blythe's army. Like, he'd go through it hard. It all depends. Billy Crookshanks wants to get in here. We'll just bring in special guest commentator Billy Crookshanks.
I've played this matchup a ton. The trick to winning with Gristle is you need to hold your feet until after Skar's feet falls off. Scar has to feet defensively in this matchup. If she doesn't feet defensively, Gristle just feats. Everything in her army kills 2 Cryx infantry models. Everything walks backwards. The Cryx army doesn't get to charge after you. The only model in Blythe's army that'll be able to kill anything will be Bane Knights of Vengeance and get into walk range, and the Kraken, and that's it.
And I'll just point out now, the Kraken has actually run to be directly behind the objective.
Again, that's I called that early. That's such bad placement of the Kraken. His relevance to this game has just dropped a lot. What do you think about Simon's selection of Dozer and Smigs in this game? He didn't have it last game. He's dropped a unit of warders for it. I'm okay with him losing 5 warders against P-Scar. Like, 5 warders against P-Scar are basically giving your opponent 8 points. You're basically saying, here's 8 points because I'm going to kill him with anything that attacks him.
Unless they're tough.
Dozer and Smigs, however, gives her a transfer target. It gives her a range attack that maybe puts some damage on, I don't know, the Sea Witch. If he aims,
Gets the Calamity off on the Raiders.
If he aims, maybe takes out the Sea Witch, and all of a sudden.
Well, the thing is, it is inaccurate, so he's like Rat 1, isn't he?
But if he aims, gets to 8. He needs an 8 boosted. That's legitimate.
He's not really bringing any other range attacks after that to take advantage of the fact you killed the Sea Witch. It's just to get rid of Power Swell, which I think is probably a good trade.
Getting rid of Power Swell is a big deal,
especially when they can't charge.
The warders, though, do have the volume of attack advantage over the Dozer and Smig.
I mean, I think Dozer gives Simon a potential assassination as well. If Blythe is careless with his Raider captain and Scar gets too aggressive, maybe he gets to drop a Dozer on Scar's head if he gets a crit smite from one of the guys.
How does Simon's feat after P-Scar's feat turn when Blythe has gone first?
First turn is the most important role in this matchup. Absolutely. What my go-to here would be, Gristle casts Cacophony. Gristle runs, so the Raiders can't get a charge order. You jam, and basically you use your jam as a screen.
Blythe just rolled 1 for Ritual Sacrifice, which is actually really quite big, because it means that a maximum camp next turn is probably quite low.
I just remembered he rolled 6 and 6 against me. So.
It's really important when you're running a Kraken. Like, with the Kraken, it's really important when you roll low. But yeah, so the way that I normally play this matchup is I put my single wind infantry out as a screen. I don't borrow the pigs, they stand in front as well with Hero's Tragedy on them, right? And basically what happens is Scar goes in, if she tries to kill your screen, and doesn't feat defensively, you can just basically blow straight through it. It's still a really hard game, still need to fight out, you're basically fighting out a corner. It's the worst matchup for the faction. But that's the only kind of strategy I find that gives me a game. You know what I mean? Without Dara and without the Mechanothrall recursion engine, it might actually be possible to win that. So
He does have the Mechanothrall engine.
does he?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. He has no Dara though, right?
No.
No Dara, no Hag.
No.
It's looking good.
Do you think running one full unit of Bane Knights hard up to that flank opposite the Long Riders is a mistake? By putting them out there, I mean, they can run through the building, some of them, to get back into the zone, into like zone relevance, but the Long Riders are much more mobile. They can get out of the way there, or do what he did against Tom, where you can just hold back and try and bait that out.
I think.
Don't agree, Tom?
I think long range. I don't understand why he keeps putting long raiders on the flank. It just makes it so much more difficult for him to utilize Gristle's benefits with them. Because the further away they are from Gristle, the harder it is to properly utilize. You know what I mean? Like you can't put Animi on them, although I guess that's less of a big deal with the Storm Troll. They have a tendency of running out the feet when they go in, things like that. Like make it hard for her to chase them with Hoof It. I don't know. I still feel like he should be deploying those things centrally.
Scott have Pathfinder. I think Simon might go for a sneaky shot with Dozo. If he can roll a 12, put some early damage on her. Dice -1. Boost damage. He hasn't. The reason I asked about Pathfinder is that he hasn't put her behind the wall that he's standing right next to. I think there's a couple of long-term placement positions from mistakes from Blythe, but we'll see how it pans out. Before it gets too serious, let's put some bets. I give Blythe, regardless of the skill, Blythe's pretty favoured in this matchup. I would like to see Simon win, but I'll give it 2-1 to Blythe to win.
I will give him 2 out of a possible 12 in ship captain crew.
I'm going to have Blythe at a $1.63 favourite, and Simon at $2.47. You can't put any cricket terms.
In cricket terms, Simon needs to make 87 runs off the last 12 balls. Deno is going to...
It's not even possible.
Deno is going to give Simon more chance of getting pregnant than winning this game.
Interesting. I think he does.
I'll give him a kiss on the mouth with tongue.
First turn is...
She's
What?
moving up to...
He's got the Scar tinted glasses on. I've got like one line Scar tinted and the other one's like Gristle tinted. And I'm like, oh, you can do all this to win the game.
One thing, it's not range. Doesn't have enough range. Yeah.
Okay, he just filled up this time.
I think what happens now is he's going for a dozer shot on Scar. If he gets a 12 to hit, he could just one-shot Scar right now.
It's got an 18-inch range and... oh, no, sorry. Because if he wants to bank shot, he can't bank shot and snipe. So it's 14-inch range, 18 inches if he wants to be rat 2, which is not worth it. So I don't know where this is going. You can do half a health.
Go for a 14.
That's something you might think about risking in a game like this.
But if he lands...
Necrosurgeon.
See, that's a mistake. Doesn't she just sack pawn to a stitch?
Something right next to it. Yeah, I think this is a mistake, but they're just checking the 1 inches for the... what is it when you can shoot over a model unless they're within 1 inch? Arcing fire.
Oh, sorry. I was saying that's a good point, Ben. If he is going for the miss with bank shot, he can actually reroll the scatter and maybe just boost blast damage on the surgeon. Thing is, Dozer's POW 7, takes off 5, needs to roll a boosted 10. Not too unlikely, but when you factor in the odds of hitting it with the scatter as well, it's starting to look a bit...
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, if you're going to try and scatter a shot onto it, like, hitting it directly is like quite unlikely. But by targeting them all in the first place, scattering off it, it gives you more chance of hitting it, obviously. So you can try and get that one of the two. If he can take out the Necrosurgeon, I believe he only has... Is it 1 or 2 Necrosurgeons he has in the list?
It must be 2, surely.
Alright, so he has 2 Necrosurgeons, but if he can get one early, the one that is near the Raiders, that'll actually be quite beneficial. Next turn, try and line up another shot. Blythe will probably be more cognizant of what's going on next turn, but... You never know how these things are going to play out. So, do you feel that's the right play going for that, or do you think he should have just tried to cap the Sea Witch?
Gristle dumped 5 in the stone. She's on 1 within charge range of a lot of raiders.
She put up Cacophony, so she can't actually get the charges off. She'll be in range of 1 that'll walk in with... yeah, so one's within 9, but she'll only cop the 1 there which she can transfer.
No...
and it's also depth 17 over the wall. So you're looking for 11s. Only one attack though. The Kraken shouldn't hit with any of its guns.
You shoot you see the ones that takes us in cacophony range? You shoot that with your Kraken, then they all charge her.
That is great. Great call.
Probably winning the game, actually.
Could be a very quick heal, ladies and gentlemen.
This matchup, I love it.
So having a closer look at the table, the Necrosurgeon is not a valid target. She's within 1 inch of a Bane Knight, so she can't be targeted by that shot. The issue that Blythe has is he hasn't left Scar a lane to walk through. So there is almost no way for her to get a Satictus Raider into Gristle or whatever with Dark Guidance and the feet.
So if he just sort of gets the Kraken out of the way, the mechs run the Krakens come towards the south side of the screen and shoots the one Raider that is in Cacophony. They're no longer in Cacophony. Scar can go forward.
Charge.
Dark Guidance feet win.
Sure. A couple of things about that is there is about to be a whole lot of dudes in front of the Gristle, so I don't think that's as easy as you make it out to be.
Not with that attitude.
You've been in a similar situation before. Same matchup, but against Jamie Saxon.
Yes. The question is Blythe good enough to recognise that he can kill that one model to remove Cacophony?
Well, it depends how much it depends how much he's played the matchup. Not bitter at all.
Not sour.
We need a TV screen. Or like a live feed.
Would be quite handy.
Oh man. I'm gonna go have a look at the board.
Alright.
Oh wait, first. Let me take a selfie.
But first, let me take a selfie.
Love it.
James just taking some selfies and uploading to Twitter. If you're watching this, go look at his Twitter. It's going to be great.
Apparently I've been controlled on and I've done. James Moore has called in live to the North John show a couple hours ago, apparently.
Did you, James? What did you say?
I don't know yet. We'll find out shortly.
All right, so back to the game. Simon's going to have to wear a Raider charge to the face. The question is Blythe going to feat and put Dark Guidance up and push Scar up? If he does that, he's probably not going to have a heal from the Necrosurgeon, and I reckon Dozer just has a crack at her and tries to end the game, even because he only got one focus. If he's Dark Guidance in,
Down to 3.
his armour is going to be 23. Dozer is power 14. She's only got 11 health. He puts more damage on her.
The other thing as well is if potential to get the Pyre Troll up there as well with Snipe and try and set her on fire. And if you can get that, get a lucky scatter, then the Assassination's on. It is on. But by putting the Femblades up there with their set defense, he's basically forcing Blythe to have to cast Dark Guidance if he wants to get through those things. So I think that's definitely the right play there. The key here is, though, spreading out the second guys and utilising the Vengeance to get through the forest, as opposed to what he's doing where he's bunching them all up like that.
That does not look like putting models in front of Gristle.
Gristle's just going to die here, isn't she?
Yeah.
I mean,
If he knows that cacophony works,
he does need 12s over the thing, doesn't he? Or
he gets one crit.
11s. Yeah,
That's
but
11s.
yeah, but as we know, one crit doesn't always happen.
That's true. That's true.
Lovely stuff from the big man.
Billy, is there any validity on feeding on the bottom of one at all to hoof it into
lose
the
the
right
whole game.
spots? I know. It's sad, isn't it?
It's like it would be like, I don't know, if you had to feat with Scar defensively turn 1, you just lose. Like, you don't have enough hitting power to go through the game, you know.
Well, Cryx can have enough hitting power. Sometimes that's the right call. Against Signar, sometimes feeding is fine.
Or like against Legion or whatever. But yeah, in this matchup for Gristle, no, if you feed on 1, you're just gonna lose.
It really comes down to if Blythe notices the...
Is it, how many Raiders are there in the cacophony bubble?
It looks like 2. It looks like 2.
I think it was...
Did he move
They
through
might
the
have agreed
exact-
on 1.
Either way.
What do you think he kills that Raider with?
Kraken, Sack Strike. One of those things.
Sack Strike targets an enemy model.
Oh, is it target enemy model?
I believe so.
I'll double check. Tom will double check. His Warren runs faster than I will. Or, well, mine does. If not, Kraken.
Kraken, if he misses,
You can give it focus. Just like 3 shots into it.
That's the thing, though. If he gives it focus, then that Assassination we just talked about becomes even more viable.
if Gristle survives.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, can you just stand models in front of Scar?
Yeah.
Because its Arcane Fire doesn't ignore them if they're in
No.
range. So.
But that actually plays into his hands because he wants to set her on fire too.
The Pyre Troll.
I guess.
Sack strike, you can target a friendly model.
Yeah, just pick a model. Yeah, so Sack Strike's the obvious and easy one. I don't know if he has the lane.
I don't know if he has the lane, and he's just blocked himself up too much. It's as simple as that. He's just blocked himself up without thinking about the next turn, and that's just Blythe's P-scarring experience.
Yeah, basically.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is the difference between a world-class P-Scar player and a good P-Scar player like Trent Dennison here. Leaving a lane for P-Scar to walk forward and save feet and cast Dark Guidance. P-Scar 101, ladies and gentlemen, right here.
Ben Leaper, can I just ask a question for all the fans that are listening? How many times have you beaten me on a table game of War Machine?
I can't remember at this point in time.
So
Last time was
zero?
easy.
Zero?
It may be somewhere between the 0 and
None.
somewhere between 0 and none.
And
Is
that where this bitterness about P-Scar is coming from?
Yes, I cannot lie.
It's a little rich coming from somebody who can't really, beat Moops in 2 years.
You're not in a position to talk, Mr. Guy who lost both games with Bradigus to P-Scar.
She's clearly the answer.
P-Scar is the answer, ladies and gentlemen. I've actually heard...
Blythe asked defense and armor of Gristle. Could be on.
I will be right back. I'm going to go eyeball it from his side of the table.
One Fury on Gristle, mistake. Could have been 3, 4, 5.
Real stone up.
You wanted to? Yeah.
I feel like the correct call for that turn, rather than say filling the stone up, because the armor doesn't matter so much this turn when P-Scar is feeding. I feel like the correct call would have been to chuck out a Calamity, use Dozer and Smeek to try and snipe out the Sea Witch so that you don't have the power swell, and that would have been a much safer play. As it is, she could be copying some charges here.
I think that Scar might be too far back to really be able to sack strike and have a feat be relevant. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's getting... If he's going for the assassination here, she really needs to get a long way up there to make sure she gets Gristle within Dark Guidance range, and in doing so, it's going to be hard to... Is he going to give up too many volume of attacks just running things out of the way to make that happen?
Tommy G has got the moves. Listen to this.
So
Tom Grant, special guest commentator.
So he can move the Bane, just move Bane Knights out of the way, have Scar charge up herself, and then cast Ritual Sacrifice on the Raider that's inside the Cacophony, and then feed Dark Guidance, and then Gristle is just gonna die.
Hang on, but then there's no Dark Guidance.
Yeah, there is.
Rituals
Sacrifice costs 2.
Ritual's actually 3, but it's still enough.
It's still enough. It's still enough. That is the move, ladies and gentlemen. That would get it done.
And then if he rolls the crit with the Statixis, the Kraken can shoot with the guns anyway.
There's 2. It is. Oh, I don't know. It's either 1 or 2 that are in Cacophony.
It's nice.
I think now 1 in Cacophony.
So
How did that one die?
We'll see.
So Wish.
What was that roll just then, Moops?
I'm not sure.
Big Deno going in for a closer look. His bulk is obstructing the entire table from the commentary team. Going in blind here, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like Blythe is using the Raider captain to desperate pace the Raiders. It's delicately poised at the moment. Blythe trying to work out the best way to get into Gristle. Blythe just pausing the clock. Disqualify him, please.
So what Simon's asking here is for the Sea Witch and the model that's furthest out to have command range checked to see if that model is actually in command range. Simon is questioning whether that model is within command.
What does that matter?
Because he tried to suppress them.
Yep. So Blythe did measure it in his turn, and he said, "I'm pretty sure it's in, but worth checking." So the Raiders have been desperate paced. Scar also has a small lane that she can walk through now, but she's not going to get very far up the table. She's only speed 7. She might get to a position where the Raiders are in Gristle. She might not. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so the assassination is off. The assassination is off the table now. Blyth is probably not going to go for it. Scar's not going to be able to get into a position where she's forward enough to get Dark Guidance in play.
The thing I don't understand here is Blythe has now moved the Kraken base to base with the objective. Unless he kills his own objective next turn and he doesn't assassinate, I don't see how he gets it done. It's a Kraken.
If he runs those central Bane Knights out of the way, Scar will be able to walk up and get into a feet position.
It's 12 inches. She would have to reach the very edge of the zone, and I don't think she's got that distance with the Raiders being in the way. Blythe just shot down the model affected by cacophony. Blythe just shot down the cacophony model.
So he's obviously seen it. I think he can move the central Bane Knights, get Scar up there, and we're good to go. Isn't it tough when you've got to shoot your own models, but it's hard because they're defense 5 million?
Cryx things.
Just Cryx things. You shoot them in the back, needing boosted 9s.
Cryx things.
Got to allocate focus. Worst day of my life.
So the lesson that Simon didn't learn from the Brisbane Championships game was put models in front of Scar. So put models in front of Gristle.
Jamie Saxon watching this game is going to have horrible flashbacks. Jamie Saxon, turn off now.
What Simon and Jamie are actually able to do is now open the P Gristle remedial centre for troll players that can't learn anything.
Yeah.
What Simon should have done was put out a rift in front of the Raiders. That would have stopped them.
Oh, but wait, they have every single rule.
Vintage is there somewhere.
Thank you. So I mean, if Blythe can get Scar up far enough, the game is literally over. There is no. I mean, he's looking for. She's def 17 over the wall, so he's looking for 11s to hit. Hey, let's be honest. He might miss a few, and if he doesn't get the crit, he's only going to get probably 3 in, maybe 4 if he's lucky.
Did he get desperate face off?
He did.
Okay.
So he's chasing 4 11s. He's got 1 transfer. He needs to stick 3 of them. If he doesn't get the crit,
you could get 5 Raiders. 5 Raiders.
I think 5 is excessive. I think 4 is probably more realistic.
Not putting the Femblades in front of Gristle, definitely looking like a massive mistake at this point in time. You have to screen your caster.
If you don't screen your caster, you get killed by Scar.
Exactly.
This is the lesson that Simon needed to learn.
Unfortunate that it had to happen at this point in time.
Scar can definitely get to the right spot. We just have a tough angle from here, but yeah, she can definitely get there. Be cool to set up in the future Twitch streaming so we have the view of the camera on the screen and have the bird's eye. That'd be cool.
Could be good. Hard to achieve, I think, but next time
some more people sign up to the steakhouse and we can pull that off. If you're listening to this, you're probably listening to the steakhouse anyway, so you're a legend.
That's true.
Now this will be going up live on my YouTube channel, but if you do want to get some more great commentary tracks from the Oz Machine team, just sign up to the steakhouse. Great.
Tell your mum.
Tell your friends.
Rick McManus out.
All right. So what do you think Blythe is up to now?
He's probably thinking about what he's going to have for dinner. He's probably thinking, is my hair going to look good during the Trox presentation? Just, casual things like that. Just Blythy things.
He's probably wondering if Sky is going to make them do yoga in the morning, because he doesn't really feel like yoga after a big day of weekend, day of dolly.
Wear the leather jackets.
But what do you think he's doing right now on the table?
He is moving up the models I think he needs to create the space for Scar to come through and feat and cast Dark Guidance.
Well, it's hard. They do have to think about a couple of things, Cryx players. Like,
the first
which
one
way
is,
they will go forward?
Do I feat for 5 or do I mix it up and just feat for 4 to surprise people?
Sometimes
these are the
to feat
things.
For 2 and go for the backlash assassination.
That's Transgency magic right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Did it at the Iron Gauntlet finals.
Love it.
Fitted for 3. Killed her.
And then the statistics are like, let's just start rolling 19s on 4 dice and we'll scan.
And then I nearly killed him.
Please calm down, girls.
Nearly killed the Earthbreaker before I got to Killer caster. I was sweating the big ones.
Things accidentally killed 20 points early. Oops.
Oh, goddamn, I hate when that happens. It's the worst.
Okay. He's moving one unit of Bane Knights a little more centrally, but this isn't the unit of Bane Knights that matters. But he does have to sort of move them to that spot, so it's fine. Just doing everything else first, taking his time, that's totally fine. Simon doesn't have any mental energy, so it's hard to use something you don't have, really.
I think Simon blacked out and was taken over by the spirit of someone who had the composure to play a game in the final.
Maybe he just had a couple of tips from Jamie Saxon beforehand. We don't know.
Tips for nips, people. Tips for nips.
Could survive.
Nipples just played his best game one game too early. It's just like one of those teams that obliterates in the semi-final, gets to the final, and just cannot catch a ball, cannot kick a ball, loses all composure. Struggle town.
Has Simon actually made any significant finals? And that's not a sledge.
He did play Convict against me.
So made any significant finals?
That's very funny, James. That was a Masters event. Prior to your win last year, it was the largest Masters event in the country. But hey, let's not make light of it.
Stop dodging the question.
Yes, Simon has.
Back to the game. Things are still running. Cryx 101. Looks like he is still creating the space there. The Banes are in a nice position there.
He's got to be careful here that he doesn't fuck up too many of these Raider lanes, because if he doesn't get 4 or 5 there, the odds of the assassination are like it's a 45 to hit an 11 to 45%.
The odds of rolling a 3 to 10 on 3 dice is exactly the same as an 11 to 18.
What's the crit percentage on an 11 plus?
It's about 45% on anything. So essentially,
45%.
Oh, it's getting really low. It's in the teens. It's in the teens.
So his actual chance of scoring a crit is 1 in 5. Mm-hmm. So he's basically relying on 50-50s to hit up. If he misses 2 of them, he's got to transfer up his sleeve. It's on. It's back on the table.
Yeah.
Like,
and the other thing is as well, the way he's run up his units, they're quite bunched up. So he's going to get a lot of value next turn from things like the Long Riders getting in there. The other units, if he doesn't get the assassination here, he's put a lot of things in a very small clump of space. And like a calamity on the unit of Bane Knights in the zone at the moment, the Long Riders will go through them like Swiss cheese. Yeah. So he really needs he's kind of. His jettison is like his positioning here, his good positioning to just go for it.
Blyth is going to maximum get 3 guys in, maximum.
Are they going to be all in range of Dark Guidance?
He could get more in, but they'll be outside of Dark Guidance and they'll be outside of feet. This is pretty big now. And this right now is exactly what I was talking about. His feet, if you see he's measuring his feet here, he's going to get maybe 2 Raiders in.
I think maximum 3 Raiders.
Maximum 3 Raiders, and if he misses a crit on the first one, or misses one of these attacks, this assassination is off.
Why is he only getting 3?
He's actually run up the Bane Knights and hasn't left enough range for Skarre to come through.
He still will get a couple of attacks at pound 9 Weapon Master, which is still useful on her.
If she's knocked down, but if not...
Odds of crit are 22%.
If she's not knocked down, they're not going to hit. He needs 11s to hit.
The chances of the assassination goes way down if he only gets 3 in with the feet. And the thing is, he ran those Bane Knights.
Considering this now, he's trying to work out if this is the right time.
The other thing is as well, like by running those Bane Knights up where he has, he actually did block himself in. He could have run them out of the way to create the space for Skarre to move up further. So, just I think a little bit of a bad judgment of the distances involved, and it might come back to cost him.
This is really, really interesting. I mean, this is not like the Jamie Saxon Brisbane Championship Assassination, which was like a flat out disgraceful. This is Simon's done reasonably well here to make it at least a difficult proposition.
I wish now he had the dozer shot onto the Sea Witch. Just try for it. Because the thing is,
to the Sea Witch, yes, he did.
If he wants to be Rat 2 and try and roll a boost of 14,
it's better than nothing.
Okay.
If he gets it, If he gets it, do you know how much this game is on a knife edge?
Completely changes. And when you're up against it, where like you are normally with any sort of troll matchup into Skarre, you have to go for those sort of things.
The other thing here is that Blyth has used a lot of time now, so if the game does go long, he'll be under the pump.
So, Dano, would you have gone for the assassination this turn?
No. I would have held my feet for one more turn. I would have set everything up because I out-threat with the majority of my list, and I would have just waited for him to come into me.
Activated. It's off.
Assassination is off.
Assassination is off.
So no feet.
Skarre did not feet.
Have a long game.
No, actually no. We don't have a long game here. Everything that's run up in anticipation of the feet is now not protected by the feet. The Long Riders and the Fennblades are going to go through his army like Swiss cheese. No, Simon here is about to go Rain Man yet again. It's
Nips in Seattle.
Nips in Seattle. Hashtag Nips in Seattle. I think it's happening. I think it's going to happen here. If he has the turn that's on the table and does it right, he could be so far up attritionally here that Blythe is not going to be able to come back. Billy is so excited right now.
You're so good on Grissel1's feet turn. Use Grissel1 feet ward. Just go on. Do it, Simon. Do it.
And this is a part where we get to see that Simon doesn't have a Horthol in his list.
The Hawthorne would be huge here. The boosted attack rolls on the impact attack, so he can get through the front ranks, get to those next ones. Thing is, I think he might end up Calamity on the unit of Bane Knights that's in the zone, and the Long Riders there as Matt's 9 impacts, and then Matt 11 charges will kill that entire unit of Warders, also of Bane Knights. Back up with the feet. Fennblades going in with Warcry. They are going to do a number on those Styxis Raiders. It's all set up here for Simon to have a massive turn, and Blythe's poor positioning of the Bane Knights has cost him dearly.
This game is on. This is way on.
Monster turn here, absolute monster turn, and he needs to while the feet is down as well.
This could be one of the best turns you'll ever see from Gristle, and it's on camera. It's on camera.
I wonder, I mean, if I was in Blythe's position, I probably would have set up for that turn a lot better so that Simon didn't have the option to, like, if he put Gristle there, I'm going to get the kill.
Yeah.
Like, because Skarre needed to be further forward and have a lane.
Yeah.
But if I was in Blythe's position right then, I'd probably go for it anyway because you're so committed to the feat. Your whole turn has been based around this plan and you've activated everything. You haven't got any board position. You haven't got anything that you can do.
What is she camping at the moment?
She's camping. She'd have to be camping 5 because she didn't bother casting Dark Items.
She gave a couple to the Kraken. So I think 5. Simon might be looking... I don't think the assassination for Simon here is the right call. I think he just tries and kills the army. But the key thing here as well is Blythe's positioning of the Kraken behind the objective next turn is super critical now.
Bad.
Yeah. If you're going for this, like he was going for the assassination there, use the Kraken to try and clear the Raiders off the ring cacophony, and that's fine and all. But now that it's behind there, his only option is the Mechanothralls kill his owner objective to open up lanes, and that's not something you want to be doing. It's not something you can have there. So, lesson learned: Colossals, you should always place them so they have a clear path into the zone. For this exact reason.
I called this at deployment. I said that is a bad deployment of the Kraken for this exact reason. And
But he deployed it behind the objective.
It is now base to base with the objective, and unless he kills his own objective, it is going nowhere next turn. Bruce? Yeah, nice.
The professional crackling you can hear in the background is the opening of boost volleys. Has nothing to do with the game.
Everyone has chocolate in their mouth.
Oh. Okay, I really want to see the Long Riders do work here. I think they are. Are the Long Riders towing the forest? Can they see stuff? Is my question. Because if they have to get Pathfinder, they're not getting featured on.
Yes, Saxon.
Stunning. One of the best things Simon has ever done.
What?
Saxon in a P Gristle list. So they can get both Pathfinder, go through the forest, and feat. Boom, boom, boom. It's excellent having an excellent commentary team with me. Professional.
I feel like what he can do here is, by completely ignoring that Bane Knight unit that's on the flank, he can hit so hard in the middle, take out one full unit of Bane Knights, all the Raiders, jam up hard with the Fennblades and pull the Long Riders back away from the flanking unit of Bane Knights, and thereby taking them out of the game for another turn. And if he can get Calamity onto them the following turn, the Long Riders can deal with them, and then that's 2 of the units of Bane Knights down. and he shouldn't have lost too much in return. He'll lose the Fen Blades, the Creeros are going for the jam, and then he's still got the Waters as the follow-up. He's in a very strong position here. It's just a matter of activating this correctly. Do you feel the Burrowers will go for the Mechanothralls here?
I think the Burrowers just kind of go for whatever's in front of them and position in such a way that the Fen Blades can reach over them. I would try and position the Burrowers in such a way that when they get to move with Hoof It, they go somewhere really, really irritating, basically. So, gentlemen, if Simon feats this turn, would you like to place bets on how many models he takes off the table? I'm going to go with the models 28. 28?
I was going to say 30 minimum, but 28.
I think so. I'm going to go with 27, just to undercut you by 1. But I'm going to say that by the end of this game, we could see Nips declared pregnant. As per Deno's suggestion, he could be pregnant. We'll have to get him tested.
On the mouth.
We will have that on camera. We'll make sure that is the closing moment of the video. Deno just going in, tongue and all. Get in there, big fella. But I feel like the Burrowers this turn, if they can get a bit of work done and use their Hoofit move to position themselves around the objective, thereby around the Kraken.
Simon's made a first mistake there. He's given the Fen Blades +2 to hit instead of the double attacks. Maybe it's the right call. Mat 6.
I feel it's not
worth it. It's not worth it.
Statistically speaking, you are better with 2 attacks.
6 is to hit.
And you lose Hoof It at the end of the turn.
Hoofit is the big one to lose. Do you feel like, the Burrowers, if he can place the Burrowers around the objective, thereby stopping Blythe from being able to get any sort of meaningful attacks in there and keeping the Kraken locked down, I think he's in a very good spot there.
So Simon here is doing the same thing he did the last game, which is fell calling 2 units on Gristle's feet turn, effectively giving them no benefit of the feet and just wasting a lot of potential attacks and movement.
It's the hit and run shenanigans. That's the key part of her feat. I mean, the extra attack versus the +2 to hit, that's, depending on what you're facing against, that's a bit of a wash, but being able to hit and run in any game is a massive advantage, especially when you've got like cav models and fast things like Fen Blades. So he's definitely denying himself a lot of Gristle's real strength here.
It's a bit of a shame, actually, that he went for that way. I mean, yeah. Well, the Fen Blades can't be affected by the feet, so it doesn't matter what he does with them.
I guess. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So the feet's off the table for them. So the one thing that Blythe has in his favour is that there are so many layers, and the trolls don't have great ability to move through the layers.
It's the long riders that are the key with their impact attacks. He needs to have the long riders do a lot of work here. I think he needs to get Calamity off. If he can Calamity the unit the long riders are going into, the impact attacks will do a lot of work. Those Fen Blades have not dug deep enough without, especially not being under the feet, to really... it's just... They need to go in stronger here. You don't get many opportunities against P-Scar players to take out a massive chunk of their army before they get to feet, and you have to grab that chance with both hands.
This also effectively gives a poor position of the Kraken a way to make value just by being so close and being able to make attacks and kill shotting.
Yep.
I mean, looking at the table, Simon's got a unit of warders out on their side of the board. Those warders are just going to die to Mechanothralls, just straight up get killed.
Yep.
He loses the threat range fight, he loses the hitting power fight.
Volume attacks.
Volume of attacks. The Mechanothrall, the surgeon, just pops him back on the table, so that ends badly for those warders.
I feel what he needs to do there is use the Burrowers to get in there and kill a lot of the Mechanothralls, and then use their Hoofit moves from the feet to jam them up, run the warders back towards the central zone, and that way, with the Kraken being stuck behind the objective, you can stop Blythe from being able to kill his own objective, which will then allow the warders to alpha the Kraken after Skar's feet turn. And that could be good.
Also, the Long Riders are kind of jammed up behind the force. Maybe 2 can get line of sight to get charges, but overall that would be a good trade if he commits for the feed this turn.
I feel like the correct play with the Long Riders this turn is to run 2 of the back guys up and use the 2 that have line of sight to slam those guys over the massive models that he has there, because there is a huge amount of models that are very close together. If he rolls a 4 or a 5 for a slam, he could potentially get 8 models between the two guys, 8 to 10 models.
And what power do they hit at, Ben?
I think they are power 14 on the slams, so you are looking at not snakes to kill.
Bane Knights and Satixes and everything.
Yeah, so you could probably get, for the cost of like those two guys, I reckon you could get 2 slams off that will kill out most of a unit of Bane Knights. And then, hoof it back up afterwards.
Would you be better off doing 2 Creel Warriors just on the off chance they then steady and you can then hoof them afterwards?
That definitely an option. The potential there is also, though, you could use the Creel Warriors for more slams where you run one of the Creel Warriors and then have the Cabers slamming in the back. Maybe a combination of the both. Keeping the Long Riders alive does seem... And that's a problem. That's a problem.
That'll still do Raiders. That'll still clear Raiders.
Yeah, I think if you can use the slams to clear the Raiders from the Creel Warriors and use slams from the Long Riders to clear the Bane Knights, and then use hoof it moves to back it back up, he's in a very strong position here. It's just a matter of whether he sees it, and this is where Nipple's inexperience and the fact that he hasn't been playing much in the last couple of months might come back to haunt him, because he won't have seen these things on the table.
Let's look at the table now. Simon's been thinking for about 10 minutes and hasn't actually done anything but a unit of Fen Blades.
Hasn't done much damage overall to the unit. Killed a couple of Raiders. Depending on Gristle does this turn, next turn for P-Scar could be a monster turn.
Definitely could be a monster turn.
Very nascent off is the Kraken's actually really good at engineering knockdown on casters, and if that happens, she loses
exceptionally well with the reach that it has, the range that it has. It can throw a model half of its strength, which is actually 20, so it can throw a model 10 inches.
Because of the feet.
But again, because he's behind that objective, he's not going to be able to get into a position, not to mention that the wall itself is a problem. When Gristle's behind the wall, it's pretty hard to...
He actually needs to have a model... he needs to throw a large base model. If she's behind a wall, he can't knock her down with a throw of a small base model because it will stop at the last legal position, which is before the wall.
So Simon's made a bit of a mistake here. He's using a Creel Warrior to slam over the Bane Knights. He should be using the Creel Warrior slams over the Raiders, and the Troll Long Rider slams over the Bane Knights.
Yep. And this might be, again, not knowing that it's a Power 7 slam as opposed to the Power 14 slam. Power 7 slam is great for Raiders, not so much for Armor 16 Bane Knights.
Yep.
But this just shows that Gristle does have game in this matchup.
And is it just me, or has Simon not feeded with Gristle? Are these guys missing out on 2 attacks?
That is what has happened here.
This is excellent. Am I a heavy man?
No, not really.
Just for those who can't see it, James is now sitting on Billy's lap, and Billy is still extremely excited from the prospect of this Gristle feat turn. So take it from that what you will.
This feat turn, so
Billy is currently feating on James's anus.
I know why Gristle hasn't feeded yet, because Simon has not actually used Warcry on the Creel Warriors as well to maximise the hits.
It's a lack of experience.
The 2 Fell Callers with Gristle is such a trap, because you are missing. Like, you're better off taking 2 swings at a 7 than having 1 swing at a 5.
Yeah, because the hoof is so important here.
This is actually the same play that he went for last game, but instead this game where it's P-Scar who has a lot better feet than Gaucher 3, it's really big mistake that he can't kill any model this turn.
I think Fell Callers are okay with Gristle, especially in a game of this size, because after your feat turn, they're still very handy, because you only put Gristle's Fell Call on 1 unit. But putting them in early game, it's not their forte.
Simon trying to get a sneaky strength 7 Caber slam. It's actually 6 Troll Export moves in the house for 1 minute.
It's all the multi-win trolls are strength 7, like Warriors and stuff.
So he needs 11s to kill those Bane Knights. Is that right? 11s to kill the Bane Knights? That's not great. As opposed to not snakes if he was slamming the Long Riders. So, mistake there. And it's going to cost him. He needed to kill a lot of these monsters.
Not to mention that the Creel Warrior slam is D3, not D6. So Billy, just get your thoughts here. Simon's taking a lot of time this turn, which was always going to happen. But if he really jammed hard this turn and put a lot of pressure on, he probably sits maybe slightly ahead in this game. I mean, it's always Scar.
Scar's going to feat into him next turn, which means he can't feat the turn, feet back. Like, so
if he's feeding this turn, then her feet turn is blunted significantly.
if Gristle feeds this turn, I don't think Gristle's going to feed this turn. He's already activated 2 units,
Both which will walk ride.
both walk ride. So neither of them will get hoof it. If he feeds this turn, the fan blades and the Cruel Warriors don't get the feet.
And the fact that they're jamming up, does he need the no orders more?
Well, you can just cacophony. The thing is, though, see if he goes within 12 inches of his of Scar's models, there's still a good chance he'll die. Like, he can still fall over just dead. Especially with a Kraken being there. Like, Blyth can just kill his own objective, throw in a sack strike, clear some lanes. I don't know. I don't like using cacophony before Scar is feated. I feel like, using it on her army before Scar's feated. I feel like the play here from Simon would be use his single one infantry as a screen to mitigate damage, and then kind of just come out, wait for Scar's feet, use a hero's tragedy to try and limit as much of the damage as he can, and then use his long riders and his warders with his feet turn the turn after that to kind of just mop up as much infantry as he can. That'd be my analysis, I guess.
I'd just like to put something on the table for you guys to have a think of. Scar is currently camping 5. She's armor 20. The Raider captain is about 14 inches away from her at this point in time. If he goes for a slam with one of those long riders, he may have been able to knock down Scar. He maybe gets an Impaler. He maybe gets a Dozer and Smigs. And he maybe puts Calamity on her as well. And that...
And a fire troll.
And that could have happened, but I don't think Simon recognised that because the Raider captain is always present. Blythy's misplayed the Raider captain, but it's not gonna happen.
No. So it looks like he's slamming the Cruel Warriors with the Long Riders. Now, are those slams also at power 14 now? Yes. Okay, so that's not too bad. It's not optimal compared to what it could have been, but it's still decent.
First.
He needs to put hoof it on those long riders, or he's going to lose the game.
Well,
I can't get over what a bad spot the Kraken is in. It's out of the game almost.
I think he needs to use all of his single one infantry to protect the core, like all the multi ones. I think he absolutely has to put hoof it on those long riders, or they're going to die. You can win the game against Scar after she's feated if you have both your units of warders and your long riders alive. After Scar's statistics are dead, she has nothing that can catch the long riders.
There's only 1 unit of warders in Simon's list. Because he opted for Dozer and Smigs.
Yeah, I forgot. Sorry. Okay. Well, that makes it considerably harder. He definitely can't lose those long riders then. If he
this is a good slam. He's just gone 5 inches through like 7 Bane Knights. That's a good slam.
That's a really good slam.
And almost auto kill.
Yeah. How fucking good are long riders? Just saying.
It's so much fun, man. It must be so much fun. Yeah, just bowling your own dudes, impact attack.
Yep, I love long riders. They're the best. Chad's drunk while there, suck shit.
So, does Gristle have to feat this turn now just to bring the Long Riders back so they don't die to that unit of Bane Knights on the flank?
She can just hoof at them.
She can? Oh, yeah. Of course, so she needs to do that. She has to do that. Otherwise, if she loses those Long Riders, that's game.
Yeah, absolutely. She doesn't have the volume of attacks to kill all that shit without those long riders, basically. Because all her single wound infantry, which normally put out a huge number of attacks on her feet turn, is going to die. Yeah. So she's losing effectively. If you use 10 Cruel Warriors and 10 Fen Blades, say, she's losing 40 attacks. So yeah, she needs to keep the long riders alive really bad.
Yeah. Yeah, the key thing here is what happens with the burrowers for mine. If the burrowers can get to a point where they're surrounding the objective and they'll stop Blythy from being able to kill his own objective, and while also killing some of the Mechanothralls, the Kraken's going nowhere that turn. Like, absolutely nowhere. And that's huge.
So our estimates of 30 and 28 are looking very ordinary right now. I think Blyth is going to win by virtue of saying 27 and undercutting us. But yeah, I think it's fair to say that Simon's misplayed this turn. The bowling was the correct play to remove the Bane Knights, because not only that, even if he doesn't kill them, knocking him down stifles the vengeance.
But he had to bowl with the long riders.
Exactly, and then he had to use the Krill Warriors into the Raiders.
Yeah.
And then he's looking for 7s.
Yeah. What you can do if you're a really canny troll player, what you can actually do is you can have the Krill Warriors all go up in front of stuff, and you can have the long riders slam the Krill Warriors, and they can still make attacks. So, like, see if you run, your Krill Warriors quite deep into a unit of infantry, have your long riders slam them. It can be hard to do because they have to charge in straight lines, but on the position of the board, it was definitely doable across the unit of Bane Knights directly across from the long riders. Then you can have the long riders kind of just clean up the Statixis Raiders near the front that they're in reach range of. Yeah, I think he misplayed hugely by not feeding here. Like
He's run the warders up to engage the Mechanic Thralls, and that is straight up a mistake.
He charged a couple.
Even still, by
This
putting
is potentially even worse, giving the Necrosurgeon new lanes to drop Mechanic Thralls for better charges.
But it's likely that Simon's going to get Gristle up. I mean, he has to feat now. He has to feat to stifle their
he has to
counter-attack.
feat just to pull things back and jam up those Mechanic Thralls to protect the warders, because otherwise those warders are going to get destroyed.
At this point, if Gristle doesn't feed, it's very likely that Skarre will kill most of everything.
If Simon doesn't feat, Gristle's army disappears. Like everything.
He'll have the Krill Stone left and Dozer and Smeg.
Just a clock update. Simon has 41 minutes remaining. Blyth has 52.
So Simon's now running out of time. Again, same as last game.
I don't think this game will resolve now.
You don't think that there'll be a result?
Someone will clock himself.
I disagree. I think Skarre will clean up the entire army if Simon doesn't feat.
I think Skarre has a scenario win on the table. If he doesn't feat, there's definitely a scenario win on the table. If he does feat, then he can pull back and go again, but he just hasn't got enough volume of attacks and kill the models that he needed to, especially with the feat still being up the sleeve. Has he gotten the Raider Captain? Sorry, not the Raider Captain, the Sea Witch.
He does have a line to Skarre, I think.
It's better to... it's just... Tom was just saying how good would a Storm Troll have been here. See, when things like Statixis Raiders are involved, it's better to throw out, 4 instances of Lightning Fist than it is to cast Calamity. Lightning Fist is just so amazing against things like Statixis, Cryx, Mechanic Thralls, all that kind of stuff.
Simon didn't go for an assassination on Skarre, which he could have.
So we have a little interruption there by Andrew Hayden. Props to him, organising all the events and stuff. Top guy. Got me into Masters. Like him. Anyway, yeah.
This is looking grim for the troll player.
See what you did there, Tom. So Dozer just shot Skarre and hit. How much damage did Dozer do? We're about to find out how much he does. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry, he hit the Sea Witch, not Skarre. That's massive. That gives rid of the power swell. It's actually, I say that's massive. At the point where the Bane Knights are already all in threat range, it's not that big a deal. So he
rolled a 12 to hit. If he had to put that shot into Skarre, he gets a...
It would have been dice minus 6. It would have been 7 damage on Skarre. She feats for 5, leaves her on 4 health, and then any sort of random damage like the Pyre Troll dropping the Animus set her on fire.
Yeah, if fire's on Skarre now and she's down 9 health, that's bad times.
Skarre's on fire.
If she was, I don't think she is.
Yeah, I think the call there from Simon would probably have been to put that into Skarre. Removing power swell isn't that big a deal when you're this close to the Raiders anyway.
And when their armour is going to be a lot. Mind you, it does mean that they're only hitting at power 14 with 2 dice instead of 3 dice with a walk.
Well, yeah, but they're probably going to charge. I don't think Simon can use Cacophony without dying.
There might just be not enough space for... Currently looking at the board, there might just not be enough space for Blythy's troops to make any meaningful attacks on Gristle.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the game.
This is looking worse and worse as the turn goes on for the troll players.
Yeah, so I think the problem here is even without Power Swell, Simon's army is just going to disintegrate. Everything in front of Scars.
There will be maybe 2 Long Riders
and
Creelstone. Those are snakes.
Yeah, the issue here is what you want to do as the troll players. You want to jam up just enough to jam the front lines and not give him absolutely everything. And then you have to wait out the feet turn and then you try and kill everything. Basically, Blythy gave him a gift here by allowing him to feet into his army, and he didn't go for that. If he had gone for the feet into his army, Blythy had been in a really bad position. But because Blythy gave him everything and then Simon didn't take it, Blythy is in an even better position than he would normally be. So I was just saying here, because Blythy gave Simon the chance to feat on everything, normally what would happen is Simon feats, goes in, kills everything, and walks backwards, right? So Blythy's got
a couple models jam and everything
yeah, exactly, right? So normally he's got absolutely nothing left. But because Blythy gave him everything and then Simon didn't take it, Blythy's in an even better position than he would have been if he'd played it correctly.
Tell me why Simon didn't feed?
I have no idea.
We don't have a good answer here.
Well, he's going to have a pretty grouse turn next turn.
It's not grouse.
Seems bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of a single reason Simon would have defeated that turn. Yep, I got nothing.
That's a great sweep for the Kraken next turn also, as Simon just lined up all the pigs.
Maybe he's trying to hold it for the post-Scar feat turn, but that's not going to happen.
One of the pigs just shot down the Raider captain.
One of the pigs just shot down the Raider captain?
You're joking me. You are absolutely joking me.
Clearly the Leaper, clearly the pigs are channeling the spirit of my drudges.
I think they are. It's like, that must have been Lilith who's just like popped in the table, put on a pig uniform. He's like, I got this, guys.
Alright, so if you look at the table right now, dat Kraken sweep.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Tom was in it.
This will be like
If only he had a blood hag.
Yeah.
If only there wasn't an objective in the way.
Although, can you not just run in a Stitch Thrall and just harvest that?
Harvest what?
Corpses.
If he runs a Stitch Thrall in? Just take all those corpses?
Well, the Kraken gets him first.
Sure, but it only gets 3?
Yeah.
Correct. So, it seems pretty good. I know, right?
No, this.
Yeah, I was out there. It wasn't great. So, yeah. Deno, what do you think Simon's going to have to do to win this game from this point?
I think Simon's lost the game at this point.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on this one.
I don't. There will be no pregnancy, fortunately.
I think what's going to happen is Blythy's going to feat into his entire army, kill about half of it. Simon can't feat into Scar's feet because then he loses the long game, and then Blythy gets another go of trying to attack him with no orders, admittedly. Kills some stuff, probably eats a bunch of stuff with his Kraken, and then Simon's probably going to lose.
This next turn will be the greatest P-Scar feat in the history of mankind.
That's not true. Yesterday I had a game against Doyle, and it was against Skarre1, and he feeded on me, and so I just held off with everything. I had 2 Raiders left, 3 Blood Witches, the Kraken, and 2 Soul Hunters, and I killed every model in his entire army, which was 2 Scythians, 2 Angels, everything died, and I left him with Skarre1 and 2 Forsaken. So that was the greatest feat turn of all time, maybe. There's been a lot of good P-Scar turns, put it that way.
My personal favourite P-Scar feat turn is the feat turn I never had to take against James Moorhouse. Braddock isn't all he's cracked up to be. Just saying.
Turn's been passed. What, did we get an official count on the number of models killed?
I don't think we did.
Maybe like 10.
The winner is Ben.
Ben is the winner. We'll give him a lolly or something.
Maybe 15-ish.
Simon feat?
Huh?
The Simon feat?
No, Simon didn't feat. He couldn't feat. He has no hope to win the game if he feats this turn.
Wait, hang on. He did not feat?
Yeah, he can't feat this turn. If he feats this turn, he's never going to win the long game. He's just putting a band-aid on it. He just basically needs to hope that Blythy's dice fuck up and he rolls really well for tough.
He did not hoof it the Long Riders.
That's one of Simon's main strategies, though.
Putting hoof it in the Long Riders?
The Long Riders have not moved.
So I think that Blythy's dice fuck up.
Yeah, he's going to lose. I think. I don't see a way out of this unless he pulls out some crazy 5 minutes left BS again. So
currently looking, 1 unit of Bane Knights will kill 3 Long Riders.
Yeah.
And the middle, on camera, we're about to watch a eraser erase Simon's whole army from existence.
It's going to be like an MS Paint when you've been trying to do something cool and it didn't work. And in fact, you know what? It's worse than that. It's the eraser wasn't good enough. You got out the white spray paint, put it on the max font
We
setting.
actually just deleted the file.
Yeah, that's clearly you're better with computers than I am. I never thought of that. Yeah. So okay. So backtracking on a scale of on a scale of numbers, which we all use. I don't know why I said in a scale of. In terms of numbers, how many dead trolls do you reckon there's going to be this turn?
Chibi was just saying that if you can get the objective out of the way, which it's probably worth killing. I reckon he can sweep for about 12-ish models.
Yeah, that seems pretty good. That's what I was saying with you needed to have the burrowers surrounding the objective so he couldn't get anything in there to actually kill the objective because you needed to lock that Kraken down for a turn. But as far as dead troll models, I'm going to go with 85% of what's left.
I am going to go with everything except for Dozer, 2 Long Raiders, 1 Warder, and the Krillstone, and the support models. Dano, would you like to throw your hat in the ring in terms of how many dead troll models?
Oh, it'd be at least 35. So I think Simon actually misplayed the last turn, obviously, but I think the misplay is that he didn't go for a scenario. Blythe did not have a lot in the zone, and Simon had a lot of potential attacks if he feeded. I feel like if Simon puts Gristle on the toe edge of the zone, puts a Janissa wall, feats, he gets probably all the Bane Knights, he gets all the Raiders, he kills the objective, he goes to 3, and he's got a lot of stuff out wide that probably can't run to get into the zone, and maybe he holds on for long enough, but it's still yeah.
I feel like killing the objective this turn is the wrong play because it's locking the Kraken down, and by killing that you open it up. You want to make it if the Kraken was to
hoof it though, so the hoof it lets you pin the Kraken down.
That's true. The thing is, if Blythe wants the Kraken to play a significant part in the game, he needs to kill the objective anyway. So why not make him spend his own attacks killing the objective to get the Kraken up there?
I think the Kraken's play this turn is the Mechanothrals move out of the way, the Kraken sweeps 15 models, and that's it.
And profits. Turns out if you've got +5 strength, your strength 20, and you've got boosted hit rolls, you'll sweep a lot of things dead.
So probably. You'll then go to power 23 on your if you swept. He'll go to power 28, 26. This seems fine.
It's all right.
It is a shame though that Tartarus is not next to the unit of pigs as it was the last game.
It could have been an absolutely majestic Thresher there.
We could have seen the first time in the history of Skarre with 40 Bane Knights, possibly.
Things that should never be seen in a game of War Machine. 40 Bane Knights is at the top of the list. The top of the list. Scar 40 Banes is the worst thing I've ever heard.
I guess 12 shifting stones.
That has just been topped, ladies and gentlemen. It has just been topped. You need a walled Tartarus that can Thresher and create shifting stones. Billy just threw up everywhere. Literally everywhere.
Jesus, that's disgusting.
It is quite disgusting.
That's on my shoe. But yeah,
I feel if Simon had done the bowling for Columbine with the Krill Warriors, the Long Riders slamming each other into the Banes, and the Krill Warriors going for the Raiders with the feet up. Maybe you kill the objective like Deno said, that you can dominate and you go to 3 points. Use the hoof it moves to maybe put even the warders in front of the Kraken just to hold it out of the zone because it can't trample over them, and you've got a great scenario zone.
Regardless of what happens this turn, the Kraken will be invincible after this turn.
Yeah, exactly. James is currently contemplating literally tipping the table over. So we'll see how that goes for him.
I have seen better games in my life.
Would you put the Masters final of this in there?
One of these guys basically gets a spot to Seattle. Maybe I could just fuck it up for both of them. How does that sound?
James is not bitter at all about Blythe passing 4 toughs to deny him his Braddock's assassination. Not bitter at all, ladies and gentlemen.
That's clearly the answer.
We could potentially see P-Scar dominating the Cancon meta as winning potentially Masters Iron Gauntlet.
Nothing has changed in Australia. P-Scar has been dominating the meta for a very long time.
It still seems like walk forward feet to cast Dark Guidance is a good tactic then.
It's a great tactic. Some things never change.
Sometimes I try to mix it up with walk backwards, cast Dark Guidance feet. It doesn't work as well.
Sometimes I really like feet, then cast Dark Guidance.
Ooh. That mixes it up. That's interesting.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought so.
Sometimes
that's why Billy is considered such an innovative Cryx player. He really just changes it up sometimes, just coming from left field. So for all you P-Scar players out there, maybe try it as well. Dark Guidance, then feet.
Once I contemplated feating to get the +5 armor on a free strike I was going to take, then I realized that because I lost 5 health, that it was the same thing, so I didn't.
Wow. Wow. That is pearls of wisdom from Billy Snackshacks.
This is about to be blood magic.
So the feat is coming. Rather than the feat for 3 raiders onto Gristle, we're going to see a feat for 90% of a Peacecar army onto 95% of a Gristle army, and it is going to be horrendous.
Doyle's just going to let us know how the feat's going.
It's feet for 2. No
feet for 2.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Everybody's faces.
So, Gristle's an apt word for, I think, all that's going to be left on Simon's side of the table. Just blood and guts everywhere.
This is a time where Butcher 2 sub-in will be great.
I would love to see some Doom River spam versus that Peacecar list. Get it in there.
Have 10 units. A lazy 10 units and a conquest. Sounds good.
75 points worth of Doom Reavers sounds horrendous. No one should ever play that.
What is that, like 15 units or something?
Yeah.
14 in Fenris. Seems good.
Yeah, I like it. You get a few feat tokens. Fenris runs, kills anything. Seems fine. So it looks like we've got the Mechanothralls here are going into the waters. Now, there's been some judicious use of blue tack in the final games played today, and I'm quite a fan. So if you're wondering how those models are balancing, that's how. The magic of blue tack.
It's pretty good.
I like it, rather than trying to... Because hills are notoriously annoying to balance models on, so why not?
It's the point where in our local we use almost flat surfaces. Like they're barely raised and we just write hill on them.
Yeah, no, that's how we play as well. I think for the finals, having the aesthetics of a nice looking hill is probably not a bad thing to have. And the blue tack's a nice way to get around the way it impacts your movement. So it's good. It's good.
It's good for these infantry, but if you put like Death Jack on there or something, he's still done.
Oh, he's still toppling over.
Yeah,
that's where the proxy faces come out there.
That's what those are for. But yeah, okay, so
the
Mechanothralls without Dark Guidance or the feet trying to kill waters. This is some good stuff.
I feel like they're just going to be locking the waters down for a turn, so the Kraken can do its massive sweep, and the waters will going to struggle to clear what's over there and make any impactful attacks onto it.
Is there a reason Blyth hasn't feated first?
Just maybe Blyth is also one of those innovative Cryx players who likes to mix it up.
Okay, but mixing up when you feat during Skar's activation is one thing. Mixing up when you feat during your game is very different. I don't think so. According to games, you didn't feat when those Mechanothralls attack those waters.
The other thing is, Skarre is actually probably a good 16 to 18 inches away from those Mechanothralls. She's on the other side of the board, so for her to get over there, I think he wants to keep the feet and the Dark Guidance for the tough low attacks, and we'll just lock down the waters for a turn.
That's fair.
Now that we look at it, Blyth doesn't even have to feed this turn. All he has to kill is Femblades, Creel Warriors, and Bane Knights charging into Long Riders, which is all can be accomplished without feeding.
That's true. That's true. And some of the Long Riders are pretty far away from his crystal.
It's true. I think he actually doesn't have a whole lot in the zone, so Genesis' wall is actually on the edge of the zone, so all the beasts and the models that are behind the wall are not currently towing the zone. So the number of models he has to clear to be able to start scoring is actually not that high.
Yeah.
The key thing is will he be able to get enough Bane Knight charges onto the objective? And I think he might need the feat for that, so that he can only spend 1 or 2 Bane Knights on it and have the rest of them start killing models. Because he still needs to play the attrition game here.
Yep.
But the Long Riders are dead. The Crew are dead. The Femblades are dead. The Burrows are dead. And the water's going to be jammed up, so it's hard to see where Simon comes back from here.
Blythe gave him an opening, and he didn't take it.
No, he didn't take it. And then, again, we've mentioned it a couple of times now, but just the inexperience of Simon with Trolls at the moment, it's really coming to the fore, which is a shame because it was on the table there, and he just made a few little errors. The Fell Calls, the way they interact with Gristle's feat turn, you've really got to be aware of what your game plan is that turn, and make sure that if you need to kill a lot of models, you need to use the hit and run aspect of the feat. So the Fell Callers should be doing sprays. They should be doing things, using their Weapon Master charges, using their sprays, just to get up there and, because they're not going to impact the game. They negatively impact the game on a feat turn.
Yeah, it's walk up, spray, walk backwards. It's fine.
Exactly. So you can always save +2 to hit for a different turn. With the way that you could have got rid of the Raiders with the Creel bowling, he didn't need to Warcry the Femblades to go in there and kill that. He could have just used the 2 attacks from the feet, made some slams, and that would have been that. But
that's something interesting to know is that on Gristle's feat turn, Capers can actually slam 2 Creel Warriors each.
That is magic stuff. I really like that.
By the end of these recordings, I'm going to have Ben keen to buy an entire Grissel1 army, it's going to be sweet.
I already am considering it. I played Trolls many years ago. Grissel1 looks like a lot of fun.
She's excellent. She's my favorite. I'm selling Danny Grissel1.
If Grissel1 ever makes it onto ADR, I am all in.
She will never make it onto ADR.
Shh, don't ruin my fun, Billy.
Trolls ADR is such a good time. Trolls such a cool faction, man. Just popping slug guns into Raider captains like a bus.
Yeah, pig burrowers should never kill a Raider captain. Was she on a hill?
No, I don't think so. I think she just needed the 10, was she? She was not on the hill. Yeah, just
She was not on the hill.
only do a 10. It's not that high. Yeah, sure. So, let's go have a look at the game here. Okay, so Blyth is starting to take back the center of the board a little bit here. I feel like that's one of the most important aspects against Trolls. Trolls are not the best army at taking ground off of people, but once they get it, it's really hard to get the board space back from them. Especially with casters like Gristle who can deny your orders and things like that, and use Hoof It to get models jamming in really irritating places. So I think Blythe kind of pressing forward here is really important, and if he's really on the ball, he probably wants to run even further into the lines. Like, if he creates a channel, kind of put models in there as well, just to make sure he doesn't get pushed out of the scenario zone, because I think at this point that's one of the only ways he can lose, especially because this Kraken is basically locked out the zone.
It just feels like to me that Simon had his opening last turn. He had the chance that all Troll players dream of, the chance to get into a game with Cryx, and he was even more favoured because there's no Blood Hag and there's no Daryl. So he had an opportunity to really, really drive home, the advantage that he's got, but he wasn't able to do that for whatever reason. He made the decision not to go for that, and now he's going to get punished for it.
Yeah, well, that's what I said to Moops is basically the way this matchup normally goes in my experience is Skarre has to feat defensively, so she'll do what you said. She won't move up as aggressively as Blythe did, and then the turn after she goes all the way in and feats defensively and kills your front line, right? And at that point you're basically playing damage control, and she gets 2 turns of wailing on you because you can't feat back into her, right? Because Blythe gave him an opening to just let Gristle feat into his army before he'd feated defensively. No, I don't think so. Not yet, anyway. So before he'd feated defensively, it means that Simon didn't punish it, and because of that, Blythe actually got to buy a much better board position than he had any right to. He should have been punished really hard for positioning the way he did the turn prior, and he wasn't. So now he's in a really good position that he probably doesn't deserve to be in.
It's not gonna go well for Simon now. I see.
At this point, the only way Simon has out is just roll some toughs.
Even then,
Yeah.
all his stuff's knocked down. He can use Reveille, but then they don't get the effect for the feat. It's like, he needed to take that chance. He got an alpha against Cryx, and he didn't take it.
Against Peace Skarre.
Exactly.
Yep, absolutely. 100% agree. He should have taken that straight to the bank, gone up, feated, murdered his entire front and second line, and then walked backwards with his whole army. And had Gristle behind the wall.
To be fair, Blythe gave him the chance to have this by not setting up his army right in turn 1. So Blythe fucked up first.
It's
but
the
then
punt into the counter punt.
Yeah, but Simon's just gone, I'm going to herp-a-derp and give it back to you.
Yeah. It's, oh dear.
It's easy to say this now with us sitting on the sideline. It's easy to make these decisions. Sometimes when you're in the game, it's a lot harder to make the right calls.
Sometimes you just mess up. Like, sometimes you just do really dumb stuff. I mean, I had a game recently where I decided to try and use a flag to stop his Fixie's his feet turn. Just didn't work. I just positioned really, really terribly. Sometimes, things just get away from you. It happens. It happens to everybody on the top tables. Pressure gets to you. You make worse decisions. So, I don't know. Anything like that ever happened to you, Dano?
I don't make mistakes.
What about that game against Colin Hill?
That was a mistake.
Yeah.
Should be. I don't make many mistakes.
There you go.
It's something I've talked about on Oz Machine, and James and I are both. We've played a lot of games now at a lot of events, and there's been a fair bit of pressure. And after a while, you just get used to it. And Blythe has played quite a few finals events, and he's done very well. I mean, he's won the Oz Super Series. He's won Convict quite a number of times. He's a very, very solid player. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's going to obviously handle the pressure a lot better than Simon. This is Simon's second ever final, and this is easily the biggest final he's ever made. I think he showed a lot of composure last game.
Yep.
being able to sustain that over 2 or 3 games on a weekend can be tough. So this is maybe just Simon, bit of inexperience, bit of pressure, or compounding into suboptimal play.
I think it's also, this is a matchup you need to play a fair few times to get a good handle on as the Troll player. It's far easier for the Cryx player than the Troll player, to win. Just because it's Troll's bugbear matchup. It's their worst faction matchup, and it's the worst caster for them in that faction.
That said, it is not the worst matchup here because he has no Blood Hag.
Yeah, no Blood Hag
or Daryl,
and no Daryl.
Or Daryl, which just compounds the matchup like 1,000 times worse.
Yeah, for sure.
It wouldn't surprise me if Simon is left with his battle group and nothing else.
Yeah, I said battle group at Creelstone, 1 warder, and all support models.
And that is game over.
Yep, that's absolutely game over. The Troll models are flying rather quickly off the table now. I think all that's going to be left is like a few random stragglers that pass tough. And what we just covered, it's rough. It's really rough for Simon at this point.
And what's a bit scary is that Blyth didn't feat.
Yeah, I'm still not sure how I feel about that.
Oh, I think it's a great play.
Yeah.
Well, he knows he's going to murder everything. He gets to save the hitting power for Dozer and Smigs when he needs it, and he gets power 16 weapon masters.
All the single wound infantry that was in his face, he kills Chivalry without the feat, and Bane Knights charging kill Long Riders regardless. So he's there away from the Krill Stone. So I think saving the feat was the right call.
I think
Skarre doesn't need it for armor. There's nothing that can threaten her anymore. She's behind a wall of Bane Knights.
I think if he hadn't got the Long Raiders, he had to feat.
Agree.
With the Long Raiders dead, yeah, sure, I'll see it. Yeah. Although, yeah, nope, absolutely.
What frustrates me is that Simon had so many opportunities, so many openings for things that he could have done. It just felt like he didn't do any of them. Like he killed the Raider captain. That's unbelievable in this matchup. You kill the Raider captain, you've got game on Skarre. You can start actually threatening Skarre, and Long Riders will be able to get someone there to knock that bitch down.
That's actually an interesting point, because depending on where Skarre ends up, if he's got 2 Long Riders left and he runs one up, slams the other one into the back to try and knock Skarre down.
She's armor 23.
Fire, Dozer and Smig.
Calamity?
Yeah, Calamity, Dozer and Smig.
It just depends if what the surgeon heals. Because if the surgeon heals her for 5 and she goes back to full.
No, this is this turn. She didn't feed.
Sure. Yep.
The surgeon went down. The Dozer and Smig went down.
I think he just placed the template there, token there, so we can see what's going on.
This is looking
grim.
So this is actually Gristle. You're welcome. I'll be here all week. Try the veal. It's really good. James, shut up and win a fucking tournament, will ya? What did you win yesterday? Nothing, because you didn't get any respect because you played Bradigus.
In first, second, and third in the 3 events this weekend. How did you go?
Qualified for the Iron Gauntlet in Seattle. How'd you go? Not.
If this guy won his game, I did. I'm blaming Tom Guan.
That game was masterfully played. I don't know what he's talking about.
I just want to say I think the Australians have the absolute best mindset for competitive War Machine. It's hilarious.
Yes.
It's
probably the best meta.
I don't know if I go that far.
Snake shapes.
Tom Guan is loving it.
I fucking love Tom Guan. I don't know if I go that far. I think best meta is wherever Brian White lives. Where's he from?
Georgia.
Georgia? Is there anyone else in Georgia?
Brian White and himself. Yeah.
Just Brian White. How does he do it?
He's a natural.
Oh, man. Anyway, but I think the Australian kind of competitive mindset's really good. Like there's no punches pulled at all in anything. Like not just War Machine. Like everything is a competition. Dice, conversation, fast food, literally anything. I feel like I should make some reference to the man, the myth, the legend, David Potts. But I have a feeling he's probably been talked about a ton on Oz Machine, so I think we'll leave it for just now. Australian Matt is awesome.
We do have a good time, and last night was quite funny, but a pretty normal night for an Australian tournament. So you got Fluffy the dog made an appearance, and it was quite funny. Tom Guan, what did you think of Fluffy?
Fluffy is amazing.
And here, pungent. Here comes the greatest sweep of all time.
We're about
Yeah,
to
I
see
wanna
the
go
best.
close up of this.
We're about to see the best use of the colossal power attack. That's probably
Okay, so never mind. Blythe has locked the Kraken in behind the objective with a Mechanothral.
everything's possible, guys.
Blythe is just fucking kidding himself. What is he doing?
The sweep isn't 4 inches, is it?
He's locked in.
Kill the Mechanothral.
If only someone had suggested that he would get stuck behind that objective at the start.
Yeah. At deployment, if someone had pointed out what a bad place that was for the Kraken.
You could still chuck some AoEs on him. With a gun.
Minute 0 he comes this. I guess, well, no, you may as well just hit one with hit them with the tentacles and then kill shot it.
It's a pretty easy game to play when you don't have to play it. Like,
Sure.
it's pretty easy to back.
Yeah, we just said that. It's easy to commentate on a game.
I'm undefeated in the dojo. Undefeated.
Basically, both. Blythy's 31, Simon's 33.
Oh dear.
Blythe can.
So, right here, there's I think solid proof that there's no god. Absolutely no greater cosmic karma.
Indeed.
None at all. I hate tough.
Yeah.
I think if I had to pick rules to be removed from the game, it would be second after command.
Yeah, tough and water and command checks are the 3 biggest issues with the game. Someone said to me that a great way to change tough would be you get a 5+. If you get it, you're knocked down. After that, you're no tough. So you don't get to roll if you're knocked down.
I think you need to change. It's less of a big deal for
Trolls need to be recosted.
Yeah, it's less of a big deal for the multi-win trolls, but for single-win trolls, they're absolutely marked up for having tough. Like Fenblades are not an 8-point unit without tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if they only get 1 tough check. So, but yeah. I think that's a fine change. It's even then, like, say if you just made it like I don't know, whatever's closest to 33% on a. I don't know. I feel like tough is too swingy a roll. You know what I mean? Making 5 or 6 tough rolls in a row is just
This is
So what's going on here?
Very efficient blast. Kills 1 guy with blast damage. That
It's got to be one of the most monumental wastes of focus on P-Scar's turn ever.
this feat turn.
no, but that right there is a criminal waste of what could have been an absolutely crushing play. Like completely would have turned this flank on its head. He would have got 3 or 4 Mechanothralls. He would have picked up 3 corpses on the Kraken. He would have procced a kill shot. He would have just absolutely dominated this side of the board.
Instead he chose to make 4 attacks.
He kills 2 pigs.
Have the Raiders attacked?
Yes.
So there's actually an assassination angle on the table. There's a Fellcaller who can aim, spray the Bane Thralls that are next to Dozer and Smig. If you clear those out, you can then run the back Long Rider up next to the Styx's Raiders. The other Long Rider slams through the Raiders. The Femblades have now Vengeance up into the pocket where that is. Gristle moves up, hits her with a Calamity. The Femblades get Warcry, and now Mat 10 versus her, and you can probably get about 4 or 5 Femblade charges onto P-Scar, who has not feeded, and before that happens, you get a Dozer and Smig shot, and you've also got the Pyre Troll, who will then be able to walk up and hit the Necrosurgeon who's behind Scar and set her on fire. Or if you get the Calamity off first, then you can just try and shoot her and set her on fire, and you've got probably like 4 or 5 Mat 10 charges from Femblades.
There's Gristle spray.
Also probably Gristle spray. You might need to use that again to clear off any of the Bane Thralls that tough to stop the Long Riders going through, but there's actually quite a decent assassination run on the table because Blythe has not left any models in the pocket there. It's just a matter of whether Simon's good enough to recognise it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Skarre is a caster that if you are not practiced with, her placement is critical. She dies. She does die.
The most transferable skill coming from playing trolls to Skarre1, Krillstun. Skarre is basically a little Krillstun. That's what I like to think of her as. And as a result, like it's kind of muscle memory where she goes. But the gist of it is you want lanes so that she can go first, walk through your stuff. But you also want it to be that on your opponent's turn, the lanes are usually diagonal-ish so that they don't have clear line of sight to her, and there's not lots of big open space near her, by and large. It's just interesting to me that those skills are transferable. Like that Scar positions very similarly to a Krill stun.
Thanks.
Well, this has been
He's also got tectonic shift. So anything that does tough, he can just shift backwards.
what? There's nothing that's got tough.
Isn't there Bane Trolls there?
No, those
so
are Bane Knights.
Oh, Bane Knights. Okay, well in that case this is even more on. So anything that he can't kill, if the slam doesn't go far enough from the Raiders, he can walk Janister up, tectonic shift them further back, which opens up the charge lanes even more for those Fenblades to get through. It's all on the table.
Those are just frenzied.
Those are just frenzied.
Simon doesn't manage Fury correctly.
Blythe did feat. Blythe has feated.
Blythe.
Blythe did feat. We've obviously not been paying great attention because that guy was armor 21, so he did feat.
Everything I just said is now off the table.
Sure. We're doing great work at commentating this game. We're paying very close attention. Instead of sitting here talking about what we would do, we should probably talk about what's actually happening.
Yeah.
It's better.
If he's feated, then he can still get the slams off. I think over the Raiders. The Raiders go to armor 17. You still got a power 14 slam. Still feel like that's the correct call. The Fenblades. The problem is he still has to go for assassination here. He needs to set Skarre on fire because the long game with the Kraken being there and invulnerable is going to go horrendously for him.
Simon just made another criminal error, and he always gets this wrong. Maintenance phase is first, which is when Vengeance is, and then you do control phase. The Fenblades are now Vengeancing after Dozer Frenzied. Good stuff.
It's a minor thing.
That's a minor thing, Matt. I don't think many people would call you on that.
It won't change the outcome, but like if Blythe said no Vengeance, there'd be no Vengeance.
Sure.
What's the left?
How much?
Is there an out?
Huh?
Is there an out for Simon?
So Simon just using the Hero's Tragedy knockdown Raiders to just kill them. So the Raiders melting here.
It's really good to use Hero's Tragedy to get free calamities. That's my favourite use of it. I say free. Saves you a boost.
You can get a Harmonious and get it for a one cost. Calamity seems fine.
One cost calamities. It's not bad. It's no pincushion and Zerial Animus though.
Best winter.
With Arcane Wonder.
Just every Stitch Tharl is dead. I hate that thing.
What's Simon's play here? What's the
long range assassination? Try to get Skarre on fire with the Pirate Troll.
Skarre on fire. It's good again, hasn't it?
Yeah. I think I feel like if Skarre from this point on, she can just walk backwards, get healed up, and then he doesn't have anything that deals with the Kraken. Like the Kraken and the Bane Knights will just sweep.
Or anything, really.
Yeah.
Like, looking at the board, Simon has a unit of warders that's
And
tied
two Long Raiders.
down by mechanical dwellers, 2 Long Riders who might kill 4 Bane Knight, triggering Vengeance, which will lead to more dead trolls and some light beasts and the Crystone.
And it's Skarre's feet turn, so everything's plus 5 arm.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, he might kill 1 or 2, so he'll get the max Vengeance use.
Yeah, this is why you have to play around Skarre's feet. That's what the entire game comes down to for Gristle. You know, you want to be feating after after her feet is worn off or before, and you've got to play for that. And Simon was given the opportunity to play to go before and didn't. So now he is really behind. Like,
if you were not to give an odds to what the chance of Simon coming back to this game, what would you place?
15%, or if he pull on purely on the merit of assassinating Skarre.
15% at best.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my call.
It's actually quite high considering what the board state looks like.
I'm going to go double check where Skarre is.
I just don't think Simon has enough volume of attacks left to be able to get any value out of what's going on. I mean, the correct call with the pigs this turn is to walk forward and burrow and put them in a position where they can go on Skarre next turn. And maybe he just holds on, he does everything he can, sets up a guy to try and get a knockdown on Skarre, and that's it.
Yeah, Simon. The only way Simon gets out of this is to plan some ways to assassinate Skarre in this turn or the next turn.
Yep.
In the long game is lost. Like orders will not make any contribution. This might be the first game in Gristle against Cryx where Gristle has a dead feat.
Yep. And it's because Simon held on to it. He just waited for the wrong turn.
It's not a matchup you can feat late.
James taking some photos of Simon's feet there.
He's got a bit of a growth.
Which stock doesn't help much in this matchup?
Simon Burrows with the pigs.
I agree.
Yeah. I think
I'm just going to pass over to James Morehouse for some thoughts now on the game and how he's panned it out.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Simon's got some real work ahead of him.
Yeah, it's kind of like the extent.
The feet.
Covers up some 2x4s and give him a teaspoon.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Blyth didn't have a great turning, and that's still the same issue.
If you look how Targar's position and look at where the thin blades are, this is potentially be even more of a blowout for next turn.
Yeah, exactly. And the feet can't get him enough leverage at this point.
I feel like both of these players have been really greedy with their feet.
Oh, I totally agree. That's definitely spot on. I mean, P. Gristle's feet is such a monster at this point levels, and we saw such an awesome previous turn before. Such an incredible turn. Nah.
This might be one of the few cases where Gristle might not have a feat against Cryx.
It's just the hoof it move is such a kick in the balls afterwards.
Who's got on top of your orders? It means you can't chase after them quickly.
One thing I have noticed is that there's a really strange growth on the back of Simon's foot. You can't see it on camera, but it is sort of... I mean, I don't think it's normal. I'm just sort of doing a comparison. And it's on the other one as well.
That's good stuff.
Thank you. Insightful, really. Here we have some waters bashing up some mech thralls, so some mech thralls can come back and bash up some waters.
Seems good. Good trade.
Good trades. He's running to engage a Kraken. I'm just going to check how we're going for time for a second.
Sure. So 1 second and
27, Simon 25.
So Simon, maybe his plan is he knows how long Gristle's feet takes, but it doesn't take that long if you only use it on 6 models.
Ah, yes, minimize the feet, save time.
Yes.
One other strategy I like to do is play points down, save time. So
just take a 50-point list to Iron Gauntlet.
Well, that's illegal, but you just deploy it in the corner of the board.
Smart. Okay. So, or alternatively, you could invest in things like, I'm trying to think, point sinks that are easy to activate. Brennus, for example.
Brennus, yep. Quick shoot of the gun and off you're done.
That's it.
Maybe cast Dynamite.
Yep. There's surely more of these.
Reeves, unfortunately, take a while because it's now fire and
too many of them.
It's not a great choice.
Devastators? Is that what they're called? Destroyer. Sorry, Destroyer. There you go. That's basically playing points then. That's the one with the bombard.
Right.
It's like a juggernaut with a bombard for 9 points.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, 2 of those.
What else is quick? Devastators are very quick,
yeah,
but they're actually effective. So.
Berserker,
yep.
This is
four
berserkers.
Attack, explode, boom, AOE, and a jack attack. What are you asking? What more do you want?
Yeah. All you need to do is allocate to it, really, and then you're getting maximum effectiveness. I found out they run for free.
Anything with... Really?
Yeah, they run for free. So yeah, you just...
Of course they do. Otherwise they blow up.
Yeah, exactly. So you just run your berserkers around the table. It takes you like 2 seconds to move one. Just run at 8 inches.
Exactly.
Just use them as a jamming unit.
How is this...
24-point jamming unit. Well, it's gotten to the point where Mips and I have started discussing how to waste points.
Strong.
So I think we feel like the ship has basically sailed here. Do you have any insights? We've come up for...
I just can't see Simon turning this around.
It's not. We're not trying to be cruel to Simon. That's what Oz Machine's for.
He lost the first turn. It is. He lost the first turn. Blythe had missed few opportunities, but Simon didn't feat when he had to, and it's really hard to come back from. Super hard to come back from that. I can't see a way.
It's Blythe got greedy and didn't feat, but tried to advance anyway. Simon should have punished it, didn't punish it, and as a result got punished for not punishing it. Punishingly.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's.
Can he? I just won't say anything while Nipples is in the vicinity. Hi, Nips. Can he stall for time? Can he?
How? He's gonna lose everything before he clocks out.
Exactly.
You need 10
I'm
minutes
just trying to throw
kill
things out there.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus, it's getting to the point where the Kraken's going to be able to advance and throw the Krillstone away from the rest of the army.
Tom, can you tell us how you lost to Simon?
Oh, it's a masterfully played by both sides where he made a great play to dominate the left flag where had no army left, and he won a scenario because they couldn't contest the flag.
That's good stuff, Tom.
Yeah.
You can hear all the insight in the previous commentary track.
So, yeah, I feel like I don't know. Maybe Blythe is just going to get to live the dream. This is what I want to see from this game now.
I mean, Simon's trying to do a fair bit of work, but it's just not going to be enough.
Well,
he just got a spray. He's just killed a couple of models there.
So let me tell you about a dream I have.
Here's the feat. He's just measuring 12 from Gristle.
It doesn't matter. So,
Is Simon going to clock himself?
Possibly. So, say you have Gristle, you have your Krillstone. The Kraken walks up to the Krillstone and just throws it away. Passes tough.
Yeah.
That is my dream.
Yeah. Beautiful moment.
It's like your Krillstone is now 8 inches away from...
Well, even if it doesn't pass tough, he can't sack back to another guy because he's not within 3 inches, right?
Yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be gorgeous.
It's going to be, when it's surrounded by Krillstone members, it's going to be hard to throw it away over the top of them.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you could find an angle or throw it back to your army or whatever.
Do that one stride there next to the Krillstone. You just throw it through that
He
hole.
only has 2 inch throws, right? The Kraken? Yeah. They're all the same for Colossus.
That would be the dream. That's something I've always wanted to do.
That would be stunning. Yeah. Man, a Blood Hag here would save Blythe so much time. Well. 75 points is a really interesting beast to design list for. I went about it in that I said, okay, well, I just really want to play Bradigus at 75. So I'm going to run a Rolled Wrath and a Watcher, so I'm going to run another list that has that. But what happened was I got to a point where I have 150 points, or a bit more, 165. And I said, well, look, I have a Bradigus list. And then everything else, there's almost no overlap other than Shifting Stones. Everything else can go in another list. Morvana can run Kruger's list. But it basically got to a point where I was like, these Morvana and Kruger lists are okay, not fantastic. So what I'm going to do next time is start from the top and work down. So write 75 point lists, a bunch, 5, 6 that I really like, and go backwards. So then say, okay, well, what's the common denominator over these? What can I use? How can I go back to a 50 point list? I think that's the way to do it.
I know Jamie Perkins. His 75 point go-to is Bloodlines. The sense importance is the best spell in the game at 75 points. Pretty much.
Oh, yeah. I have Menoth's probably up there, but yeah, that kind of thing.
I think it's those two.
Yep.
So as a result of that, he always just does Vlad 1. Do you reckon Circle really have a caster that can do that with the 75 points?
I mean, when Bestial's good, Bestial's great, right? We're talking about AoE kind of things here. Druids, counter magic, Circle.
Realize, is it?
Morvana's rerolls still hurt her the same amount.
Yeah. I mean, Purification's real good.
Purification is real good, especially when you're seeing a lot of juniors.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so back to the game. I don't know. I feel like as Trent was saying earlier, just stick a fork in it.
Yeah. There's only so much my commentary we can do. We could talk about nipple jokes.
Yeah.
Tom's excited about the nipple jokes.
That's.
Tom has been hit on by multiple women at this convention. Facts. The character says, "Oh, Thomas-san, oh, you're so sugoi. Let me place your Attack on Titan. Oh, have you played Dragon Age? Respect." And Tom's just like, "Yes, I'm famous. Shut up, bitch."
So, I don't know if you guys, the listeners, will have seen the Tom Bland.
Simon is ended his turn, and one more activation. Looks like obviously no feet, no hoof it. Just saving that feat. Just saving that feat till turn 7.
It's for time efficiency. Scars on fire.
Scars on fire. That's pretty cool. Dale, intrepid reporter, venturing from the east side of the table at this point. Scar. Here comes a fire roll. Dice 1 is 3. 6 and a 2. 5 damage. So that'll hurt. How much? I don't think the Necrosurgeon helped her out that much. Simon looking for the one shot with the fire needs to roll about a 16 on 2 dice. Got close. Rolled a 6 and a 2. Okay, Blythy really here needs to consolidate, clean up, and make sure he doesn't lose the game. On clock, on not killing enough models. Yeah. Bay Knights of Vengeance. Attacking the objective at this point. Last one is 7, probably not a bad idea. 2 long riders standing nearby. Yeah. He's blocked the charge lane from the northmost unit of Bane Knights onto the objective and the Buffaloes to allow the following unit of Bane Knights into the centre of his army. Oops, sorry, my bad. 1 Buffalo down. Really surprises me how Simon can play a good game and almost a great game against a great game. Whoop. Really surprised me how Simon can play a good/great game against Tom.
Oh, it's the best game ever.
And then, again, no offense to him, he's done incredibly well to get to here, but this is not his finest game. We can definitely say that much.
I think it's probably matchup and experience. If I had to peg it, that's what it looks like to me.
Looking at Trent's meta, I figured you have some idea about playing against Scar.
Is he in Trent's meta?
Who?
Simon?
Yeah. They're both Queenslands.
He needs to play against Trent some more.
I will agree. Yeah.
Have you seen Trent's game against Jamie Saxon? Same matchup?
Yeah. It was great.
It's clinical.
I'm gonna teach Jamie Saxon how to play with Troll War Beasts.
Just let him do it. It's natural. So now that Simon has lost all the long riders, has some orders left that will not be very useful for any amount of time.
Is Jamie just giving Simon some looks, saying, "Look, I could have lost a bit faster than you have, but you're still doing well for the P. Gristle Memorial Club, Remedial P. Gristle Club." I don't know what we should call this. The P. Gristle Memorial Service, the PMS Club.
Oh, strong.
Very good.
Tartarus.
Oh, Berry.
Berry and Cherry.
La 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 la. They're playing at all the conventions. They love to play P-Scar.
Chili was playing like blood.
Chili's playing a bit of Mercs, isn't he?
Yeah, Chili.
Excellent.
Chili's all over the place.
Go on, Chili. Get yourself together.
Come on, Chili.
What would Taylor Swift say? Still recording. We're okay.
How does Simon
dun,
win the game?
dun. Give me a home among the gum trees with lots of plum trees.
It's Skycast. That's like my favorite.
It goes, welcome, come in, open wide, come inside, it's play school. Dinner, open wide, come inside, it's Steakhouse.
Where's it's over there.
It's good seeing a couple of guys from New Zealand.
Yeah, it was sweet. That Will guy sure gave you a fucking run for your money.
One of the best games I've ever played, probably. I was amazed I was in it.
Yeah.
But when a game comes down to, look, I need a boosted 10, it's 60-40 roughly. And it was really tight up until then. It was just quality fun game. Really good.
It's when the game comes down to I need to roll anything but to hit your caster and Dace plus 3.
Not rewarding.
No, it's fun. It's like, you were armor 27? Sorry, I didn't notice. Whatever. I just gonna went for it, assumed you'd die. I hate that caster so much.
We don't talk about Bradigus on Wednesdays.
It's Monday.
We don't talk about Shut Up, Billy.
It's a fetch.
Alright. Blythe continuing to do some pretty decent clean-up work. Pretty optimal here. Coming in from the north to the south.
I mean, it really is just clinical at this point. Like, academic is the word I was looking for.
Academic is what you're
academic
looking
at this
for.
point. I mean, why it's not, is it even academic at this
Neither
point?
of these
What do you learn
players
from this?
would probably admit that they have been running a clinic. However, they may have some academic capabilities. I'll agree with you on that one.
Sure. And I mean, like, if you just play this and you just run at each other, Skarre1 wins. Right?
Blythe just finished off the objectives, that's one. He might even be able to clear the zone, you know.
I think actually if he walks into this and he's giving Simon out.
Yep, and he definitely should not do that. Yeah, I want to see. So apparently Menoth John has done a podcast with me. Now.
So like the one you did with Billy Cryx.
No. This one actually exists. Badum.
Well, we're absolutely going to have to check that out after this recording. James Morehouse exclusive interview with Painting of Menoth John. Maybe you're schizophrenic?
I wonder if they've got 40 views yet. Still on my views.
Oh man, you can't take that from her.
I can do whatever I want, mate. I can take that from Shred if I really want.
He will take those views back and put them behind the couch and sit on them.
I do like the trolls. The stone being able to affect objectives. Pretty cool.
It's cool, yeah.
Armor 20 objectives. A little bit tougher.
Yep. Yep.
It's very.
We are really running out of gas here, aren't we?
Man, it's just clean up. That's all it is.
Yeah,
and that's fun.
We just need to wait for.
We could talk about his cankles. Leaps has been ahead on the cankle front.
Yeah.
Leaps, can you just give us a very quick cankle update? We're running out of material as Blythe is just doing some cleaning up, really.
Yeah, the cankle has subsided, but it's still some deep ligament pain. So I'm actually going to get Dr. Nip's assessment of it. Maybe I need to see a specialist, which is not him.
I don't think you'd want Dr. Nips helping you out with anything after a performance like this.
Yeah, some tips on how to play Gristle.
Yeah,
some nip tips.
Nip tips.
He probably
hashtag nip tips.
He probably has the tools to help you out with your cankle. He just won't use them in time. He'll probably wait about 3 turns.
Two-handed throws.
He'll probably realise later on when I first got on gangrel.
He'll give you
that he could have helped me.
Yeah,
he'll give you a call on Thursday and say, I've got the solution. You'll be like, thanks, mate, it's healed. But thank you.
No, thanks for showing the concern, mate. Thanks. It's nice.
No, seriously, we're at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah,
did you hear our conversation about how we were discussing how to waste points to save time in Iron Gauntlet? Basically, it's okay. So the issue with Iron Gauntlet apparently is clocking yourself, right?
Yeah.
So 75-point armies take a long time. So what if you just burn points on models that are, useless, but really easy to activate, like those like Brennus.
Jacks.
Yeah, or like Brennus or Destroyers, models that you can just run and forget, and that's it.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I think for the Iron Gauntlet stuff, if you're going to a 75-point Masters round, you really need to be aware of how long your army is going to activate. You can't just add more dudes.
Yeah. Like, real talk, I think bearing in mind the number of activations in your army is actually really relevant in this format because the time scale doesn't scale up appropriately.
Not at all. The time you spend deploying, working out how to use your extra models, all that sort of stuff, you really don't get much time at all.
If we say that an average game is 5 turns, 6 turns, that's 4 minutes extra a turn for an extra half an army. I mean, it's close-ish, but it doesn't work like that because because of the force multiplication, essentially.
Yeah. And also the extra time you spend deploying those models, working out how they're all going to fit in your deployment zone, with an extra 50% of your army, takes a lot of time.
Simon has 18 minutes and Blythe is starting at 19 minutes, so pretty close on time.
It'll be interesting to see if it actually devolves into a game where they're busting their chops for the last 10 minutes. I think Blythe can get far ahead that it doesn't have to be like Simon throws stuff into his zone and it takes him 5 minutes to clear it. He should be able to do this comfortably.
Yeah.
I think the best strategy of Iron Gauntlet is go second.
Yeah.
Literally go second.
There's some merit there.
Oh man, your opponent goes first, they wasted already 15 minutes of their turn. As long as you have an economical turn, then you're always ahead on time.
I think playing Legion is also probably a pretty good strat because they are a really low model count army.
Yes.
Yeah. But for real, Legion, Circle, all that kind of stuff.
They do have a problem though where they have an extra 10 points in their eval list, so it'll slow them down a bit.
It's a real problem. The struggle is real.
This is probably the most amount of models you'll see in a 75-point game. Like obviously there are some extremities, but in a realistic sort of 70 point
Sturge's tier.
outside of
No one needs to play Sturge's tier at 75 points.
outside of Cheruboga kind of things, Cheruboga mirror matches. This is probably as big and drawn out.
When
as
I play Cheruboga and the Iron Gauntlet finals for something.
Yeah, I feel like when you go into 75 points, you definitely want to have more heavy warjacks, things that are like low cost activations, things you can do quickly, but still get a bit of value out of them.
Like things like Necrosurgeons are going to get overloaded, so they're still going to collect. They're still going to make 3 a turn if they really want, and then those 3 guys are going to come back and get mulched by more attacks from your opponent. I feel like a bit more of a dynamic sort of list, a bit more heavy orientated is the way to go.
We talked about it during Tom's game versus Nipples, where I really liked having the 2 heavy jacks. It was something that you could just put a couple of focus on. They do a shot each turn. It's like 18 points of your army that is very quick to activate while still contributing every turn.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you've still got the core pieces of the list that you want to have, whereas a list like Nips has here, there's just so many guys that you're getting in your way. You're tripping over your own feet a little bit, and you just don't have those things. Tell you what does scale up rather well. Things like scattergunners. If you can get a unit with sprays, Greylord Outriders, most people are going to be taking extra infantry, especially for a war machine, so anything that pumps out a lot of sprays or AoEs becomes absolute money in a 75-point format.
Especially if you've got any kind of force multiplier for them.
Yeah, definitely. Like a Fortune Scattergunners in Trolls, or with Dash, like Gristle or something like that. A lot of stuff going on. So what do we got going here?
This is one of the... Blythy's probably made the right call here. Skarre is retreating. Because Simon's Simon's chance here is to throw a boosted Calamity, try and get a Dozer shot and a Pyre shot onto her, except there's no Pyre Troll because it's dead. Retreating behind the forest, camping and healing from the Necrosurgeon. Correct move. All good.
Yep.
How many health is... I think you just said Scar's taken... I'm going to just check how much health Scar has.
Is this kill box?
Yeah. Kraken remains stuck.
He's safe. Kraken is still stuck behind the objective. One of the greatest plays of a Kraken you'll ever see in your life is to have that Kraken stuck behind the objective for the entire game. Skarre is now full health, hiding behind a forest, Necrosurgeon blocking the way, full unit of Bayonets on the other side.
Skar's still on fire. Hi everyone, I'm back. And he's got pigs about to charge her. If he gets some damage, she could burn to death.
This is quite interesting. It doesn't look like there's any way he'll be able to get a Calamity onto her.
If he puts all chips in, he can charge Gristle forward and maybe Calamity her. All chips in.
It looks like the angles are tough here. He needs to kill the Necrosurgeon to potentially get the range up there.
He needs to use Janissa to tectonic shift stuff out of the way, and then Gristle goes up.
So if he can get the tectonic shift off, there looks like there's a lane there. Getting the angle for the Calamity with her only being... Is she speed 5, Billy?
Gristle, speed 6.
Speed 6. So she's got a 9-inch charge to get up there. It would almost be worth having Dozer and Smig potentially push her to get the extra inch. And then get the tectonic shift going, charge up, try and get the extra range. There's not a whole lot that can go on here. Would it be worth trying? Does Dozer and Smig have open fists?
Yeah, two.
It's almost worth walking up and just trying to throw a model, like in a single-handed throw that direction, and see if it scatters and lands on it, because if it does, it's worth the risk.
Down. The pig guns will start fucking her up. What's your
The thing is, I think at that point she just charges in with the pigs. If you get a knockdown, then... Because as it is, you'll get a war cry off. You are unlikely to get the Calamity, but it could happen. But that's your only play at this time, so you have to go for it.
I agree. 100%. Just try and deviate stuff onto Scar. I mean, it's not a great plan, but it's the only plan you have, so whatever. Yep, 100%.
Okay. Is Dozer and Smig speed 5 or 6? 5.
So I think we're actually a little bit back in action here, because Simon's recognised he's fucked. So he's going for the assassination, obviously. He's just vengeancing with his Fenblades now. So a couple of options. He wants to, if possible at all, knock down Scar. There's no Raider Captain. Dozer can go for a lucky one-handed throw, as Leap has said. Janissa has the ability to clear a lane as well. Gristle can also is a chance. He must be going for the knockdown here, because he didn't deploy one pig back far enough to be able to be affected by the fell call over here. If he had, he would have been +2 mat. So, then he needs 10s to hit. He must be going for a knockdown of some sort.
It might be a slight mistake there. The way at the moment the day was set, Dozer and Smig has Tartarus in the way. So he's actually using Gristle to charge Tartarus, and he's popped his feet now. If she does not kill Tartarus, the tectonic shift to move him out of the way, run a Fenblade up, and have Dozer go up and throw the Fenblade, I think is probably the right call.
Yeah, you could potentially slam something.
Yes, slams do move at half speed through the forest, unlike throws.
Yeah.
So I had a look at that. That's why I asked about the speed.
Why charge Tartarus?
To clear Dozer instead.
So the slam is probably off the table. It's probably a little bit too far away for that. So going at half speed, even if he rolls the 6 for the slam, I think he'll show about an inch short. So the throw is probably the best call at this stage. But the feet giving him the extra attacks on the pigs potentially could do it. He needs to spike hard here.
They only get extra attacks with the parades.
The held feet here might be a little bit of magic. So Gristle's just killed Tartarus with her initial and her feet attack. He must obviously be trying for a charge lane, but where he's currently sitting, there's not going to be successful Calamity on Scar.
No, he's definitely going to get the Calamity off. The other thing is, though, it looks like he should have Scar inside the 12 inches for the no spells inside the control area. So forcing her to back up and pop Dark Guidance rather than being able to do that really limits what attacks he can get into her from that. But at this stage, it really is a last ditch to try and get this done. So what model can you see him trying to throw? Do you reckon he's recognised the throw?
No, you can basically pick anything. Like even a Stone Scrape would do.
Yeah, it has to be. Medium base is definitely the right call there.
The knockdown is off.
Okay, so he has not seen that. He's actually just going for the Necrosurgeon.
If I was Blythy right now, I would be breathing a sigh of relief because that's how you can randomly just lose a game.
It's basically, I feel like the knockdown was probably the last chance that he had to get that.
What's the mortality rate on Gristle next turn? You reckon?
100%. 100%. The Bane Knights will probably try and kill the objective, if not Scar herself, and then the Kraken gets into Gristle. If not, those Bane Knights over there.
She hasn't moved yet from Hifit.
Pardon?
She hasn't moved yet from Hifit.
That's a very good point. So she hasn't used a hoof-foot move. So she's still... It's not the final position, so we can't really judge it on that at the moment. But I feel the knockdown, try and get into her, was the best play that he had, and by activating the pigs now, he's thrown that away.
What he may be able to do is swing really hard to the left, away from Blythe. He's going to center it with power and force Scar to run 14 inches. But I mean, like, why does it matter?
No, I mean, at this point, it's all last ditch. So you go for the knockdown, you try and get it done because you just don't have much else available. Next turn, you lose Dozer and Smig to those Bane Knights, unless Dozer runs away. In which case, if you're running away, you're running towards the Kraken.
Yep.
So you're caught between a rock and a hard place.
Yep, absolutely.
Through volume of attacks, the pigs killed Necrosurgeon, so no more healing for Scar unless you want to spend focus.
I mean, at the end of the day here, he's entirely relying on fire over the next 2 turns to kill her.
What's the name of Scar's sword?
Bloodworm?
No, Scarred.
Tacarix?
Yep.
That's the one.
Gaspies.
What?
Dea Mortis. What's Morty's weapon?
No idea.
Oh, Tommy Guan, the absolute Mort Nebumaster, does not know the weapon.
Saying
to Anakin, hey, what's this called?
I know how to use it, I just don't know what it's called.
What is Kruger's weapon called?
Worm tongue.
So we have devolved from the game a little bit here, but it is riveting stuff, so we'll try and get back into it.
It's just a sad fact that at the end of the day, you know that Simon's going to fuck it up.
A little bit harsh. I've got a lot of faith in Simon. He's made it this far. He's proven that he can do very well.
Better than all of us.
He's done phenomenally better than me, especially. He's done better than all of us.
I couldn't compete.
Goddamn quitting.
But I literally couldn't.
Goddamn flies.
There's flies everywhere.
Oh, there's flies everywhere. There are flies everywhere. I don't think this is part of Simon's plan for the turn.
Is he gonna score?
There's a random swamp troll in the hall somewhere.
Is he trying to score the zone? He just pushes the statistics out?
He is in fact trying to score the zone, it seems.
Why if you're just confirming as he replaces the Kraken with a rec marker that is not a rec marker? Just a proxy base.
Just a proxy base, ladies and gentlemen. Not a rec marker. The Kraken is still very much alive. Don't forget.
I said don't freak out.
Oh, nice. Yep. So the critical roll here is the fire roll. If the fire keeps going and he rolls bonkers, now that there's no healing from the Necrosurgeon,
Honestly, see if Simon clears the zone. with his feet up. Blyth can't run anything into the zone, and if he can jam the Kraken, he can't contest with anything relevant, and he can go 3 and 5.
What's happening?
The thing is, Simon has realised that there's probably only about 5 or 10 minutes left in the game, which means it's time for him to go Rain Man again, like he did in the last round. If he kills the objective here, and he's got it, he'll be able to use the hoof-foot moves to push the waters up to jam that in, and the Fen Blades to jam the Bane Knights up. It's going to be very hard for him to contest his own. She goes to 3 this turn already. Fire on Scar, also no spell, so Scar has to walk backwards to cast Dark Guidance. He may have just made another unbelievably magic play here.
He can walk up actually even further with his hip move and tell Scar to back right the hell off. Like, for real, because Scar's on the other side of the forest. He can basically walk up to that forest, and it means Scar has to walk completely away from her army. So no doubt.
Big Deno coming back in. Any special comments? It's happening again, isn't
If Simon pulls this out of the fire, it's an absolute fucking
It's
disgrace.
absolute
He's about to hoof it and get everyone out of the zone
I know.
and maybe win this fucking
I
game.
know.
What a dickhead.
I know. Unbelievable. It could actually happen. So, this is on the cards. This is big time on the cards now.
For any prospective listeners listening who are thinking about maybe playing against Simon in Seattle, don't let the game get to about 10 minutes. That's when he enters Super Saiyan mode and will crush you.
You have to win before he gets to those 10 minutes. But I will say one thing. I think Simon's game plan is legitimately lull his opponents into a sense of, like, just complete bliss. Like, oh, I've got this game won. I've got it won. What's happening here? And then, bang, he puts down the clamps. The clamps are coming. Because he has got the most ridiculous late-game scenario game I've ever seen. He scored 5 control points in 5 minutes last round. He's going to try and score 5 control points in about 2 minutes this game.
15 minutes for Blythe, 8 minutes for Nips.
This is on. This game has had about 7 swings already through bad plays, and it's about to have its first swing through good play. So can he pull it off? Because I'm backing him in here. I had complete faith in the Nips.
This is a virtuoso shot. Could have had a crack with this game. That's fine.
The key thing here is, getting things away from the Bane Knights. I don't think he's procced Vengeance on those Bane Knights this turn, has he?
Actually, it's more important to be away from the Kraken, because the Bane Knights are going to be in Cacophony.
But with the Vengeance move, if he procs it and then a walk, will that get them into range?
It'll get them in the zone, but it's not like Gristle struggles to clear infantry.
That's true.
He just moved Janissa back, and I think and Deno and Azza just went, oh. I think what they were suggesting is that they move Janissa up to force lock the Kraken.
I think it's probably better to put a wall so that the Kraken can't move into the zone.
I think both good options there. What he's doing now is he's locking the Kraken out of the zone. He's engaging the Scar lock so it cannot also run up. Scar is also engaged by a couple of pigs. If she takes another hefty fire roll, she needs to walk backwards and take 2 free strikes just to be able to cast Dark Guidance, which could potentially do her in here. By locking the Scarlock down as well, he's limiting the options where he can get his Dark Guidance, or his Ritual Sacrifice off. So Simon's playing magnificently well in the late game here. Can he pull it off? This would be one of the greatest shocks Australian War Machine's ever seen.
I think he's like the opposite of Tomgon. The final 20 minutes is where he works his magic, not the first.
The final 10 minutes of the last game and just that turn just then is some of the most vintage War Machine I've seen Simon Nipception, Nips Magic Hall ever play. He's come from nowhere. The Rain Man. The Rain Man's making it rain. Oh, so the fire roll does no damage, doesn't go out, does no damage. A little bit unfortunate there at -3, but still, it's on there. That's the important thing, because the Pie Troll is dead. There's no more chance to set her on fire. One more turn. Can he hold out for one more turn and take out the most unlikely Iron Gauntlet final win you will ever see in your life? It looks like Sheldon is leaving. Round of applause for our judge, Sheldon, please. Cheers.
He's got Janissa who can tectonic shift these Bane Knights just out of the fucking zone. Like, he cannot get the Kraken in the zone.
Yep.
He can get maybe 6 Bane Knights. He's got holding of the Fen Blades who he can Warcry or double attack.
I feel like we've covered this before, but has anyone mentioned how poor putting the Kraken behind the objective was? Yeah.
We may have talked about it a couple of times, maybe 7 or 8,000 times, how it was a horrendous play. And it is now coming back to bite Blythe in the ass.
That probably just the last Blythe of the game.
massively. The Kraken, and that is lesson 101 in why you need to always have your Colossals with a clear line to get into the zones that are deployed opposite. You can't have them getting stuck behind terrain or obstacles or obstructions or objectives or anything.
I think all Gristle has to do is calamity that unit.
Yeah, Simon's won this game.
Yeah, all he has to do is calamity that unit, make double attacks on the Fen Blades, and I think he kills the entire Bay Knight unit and wins the fucking game.
This is actually going to happen.
This is legitimately going to happen. He has got this in the bag.
Minuteman Simon.
I'm Minuteman. Simon is gaining nicknames by the second at the moment.
Oh no, we covered Minuteman last time, remember? That's all he needs.
Oh yeah. He is now the new Minuteman. 9 minutes in one day. Blythe is assessing his options. Realistically, he can get... The Banes cannot charge because of Cacophony, so he can get the majority of them, I would say, all bar one, it looks like, into the zone.
The Bane's already moved.
Pardon?
The Bane's already moved.
Was that not Vengeance?
No, the Vengeance then moved.
Okay, so... Oh, he didn't kill any, so smart plays again by Simon. So the Bane Knights have finished activation. So we've got 6 Bane Knights into the zone. As we just discussed, the Femblades with double attacks can quite easily clear that out. He's got Dozer and Smig who can go in there, charging, kill quite a few under Calamity. Clearing those out will be no problem at all. Gristle has a spray as well, so if he Calamity's first, Gristle spray, Dozer and Smig. Genesis Rock Hammer, all the Tectonic Shift to get the last few out.
Chronicler has a mat 6 per 10.
He's actually got quite a lot of options. Blythe is looking to run models into the zone now as... So the Necrotech, with its Mat 6 Power 10 weapon, Power 11 weapon I believe it is trying to kill a water. We'll see how that goes.
So if we assume that there is no battle driven, it's dice minus 9. So he needs to roll on 3 dice a 17.
It has been done before. I've killed a water with blast damage once.
Yep, it needs... But however, I think that is a battle-driven token.
17.
I think that's a battle-driven token next to the water, so it means it's actually mathematically impossible for it to die.
Okay, so he cannot kill it. So this is futile work from Blythe here, but he doesn't realise it.
It's last-ditch stuff again, but he needs to kill some mechs to make some mechs, so they're not cacophonied on, so they can get in the zone. But it's not this only mechs.
I don't think he can... I don't think that position exists where he can put the mechanic rolls.
He actually can't go there because he'll be passing through the models. So the Necrotech falls short. He still only has the 6 Bane Knights in the zone. It comes down to the Mechanath rolls, which might need to take some free strikes from the Fen Blades to run through. The Skarlock will be taking 2 free strikes.
No, the Skarlock should just run in.
Yeah, it'll be taking 2 free strikes to get in there. It's engaged by 2 pigs.
Oh, I didn't see. Oh, they're Mat 4 though.
Yep.
Oh, Mat 6 on the free strike, I guess.
Yep, so...
And it's only Mat 8. He may actually not kill it as well.
It's definitely worth it at this stage, taking that option. He needs to get as many models in the zone as possible, otherwise the scenario win...
The ratio of clenched buttholes is right now.
Simon's is tighter than... tighter than a Nunzanus.
I think if you put a little bit of like coal up Blythy's, it would come out as a diamond, roughly. Something like that.
Oh, mate, there is no way to make a plastic through Blythy's Anus right now. It is closed off. It is receded back up into his body. He is currently a eunuch. The eunuch of the arsehole world.
Great commentary there, Leaps.
Oh, just killing it. Making it up as I go along.
He gives Nips a vengeance move on a couple of Fen Blades that are actually in positions to kill Banes. So
that's actually very important because that's even more attacks. So it is actually all coming up nipples right now. I would imagine Simon's nipples would be so erect right now they would be cutting holes, shearing holes in his t-shirt.
Definitely see the front of his shirt, and the nipples are erect.
I think nipples can hear commentary.
Nipples might be able to hear this,
yeah.
but the nipples are erect.
We'll should back this up a little bit because we need to be careful not to talk too loudly here.
Nipples are angry and erect.
Oof. Blythe is moving in. So the Kraken has given up on being able to get into the zone. It is now just making attacks on the waters. If the Kraken can kill the waters that are there, it'll open it up for the Mechanath rolls to be able to run into the zone, which will make it a little bit harder. indeed the Mechanothralls cannot run, so if the Kraken is able to kill those waters, he'll only be able to get, I would say, 2 Mechanothralls into the zone. I'm not sure. Yeah, and the Necrosurgeon hasn't gone yet, so the Necrosurgeon has 2 corpses in it by the looks of it, so it'll be able to get probably 4 Mechanothralls we're looking at, and 6 Bane Knights into the zone, and that is it. We've got Vengeance move coming up, we've got a spray from, probably a Calamity, a spray, I would say, bunch of Fenblade attacks, double attacks from that. He still has a Fellcaller, so the Fellcaller spray also.
I would do a double, and then the Fellcaller can also Warcry the Crystal unit, which puts them up to mat 7, which means they'll kill Mechanothralls.
Definitely, that's a great call. That's a great call. So that is definitely what should happen here. And then, failing all of that, he can always have Janissa just tectonic shift the remaining models, the Mechanothralls, out of the zone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that makes use of his tectonic shift on that side of the zone, which is good.
But yeah, so it's on the cards here. It is all there for him. Nips is starting his turn.
This is a turn.
So he's actually not moved the Mechanothrall unit up at all. He has got 2 Mechanothralls left in the zone, 6 Bane Knights, and that is it. So he's taking his Vengeance attacks at the moment. If these guys can... The thing he's done here is he's actually not left himself any line of sight from the Vengeance. If he kills the Mechanothralls to then get the Femblades to charge the rest of the Bane Knights, which is leaving...
Oh my god, if he messes this up.
So he needs to leave line of sight there, because if he gets those, he wants to be able to charge. Alright, so the Mechanothralls are gone. So basically all he has to kill now is 6 Bane Knights. He's got Calamity, the Spray, one Fenblade with double attacks, and Dozer and Smig. I would say Dozer and Smig.
Spray. Dozer and Smig. Stone Scribe Chronicle. Janissa's Rockhammer. He can get this done.
Warcry on the field. Oh wait, did he use the Vengeance to kill all the Mechanothralls?
Yeah, he's used the Vengeance to kill the Mechanothralls, so they are now out of the way. See, the thing is here, I would have probably done...
And by Chronicle, I definitely mean from the Krill.
That's the one he meant. Always meant that. I feel what he needed to do here was get Calamity off first. He needed to get Gristle up, because she's got a spray 8, so she can clear out those first couple. You want Dozer and Smig to probably walk up and double-handed throw one of the Banes at the other one. With Calamity, we're looking at strength, probably power 14, collateral, and normal damage. You auto-kill one of them, and you will kill the other one on not snakes.
15 with the Crystal.
Auto-kills.
Chronicle gets another one.
Chronicler gets one.
4 to go.
We have got 4 Bane Knights in the zone. We have... There's no way this can't not get done.
Not a chance that time I felt.
This is like a 99.5% like scenario win here, and Nips will have pulled off the most miraculous comeback seen in War Machine in years, since his last game approximately half an hour ago.
Hey, this is 75-point Iron Gauntlet. That was not half an hour ago.
It
was like 3 hours ago. Jesus.
I know. It was, yeah. So just for posterity's sake, if he pulls this off, Nips will have gotten 10 control points across 2 games in approximately, I would say 10 minutes of play. 10 minutes of his own time. It was 5 minutes of play against Tom at the end where he just went Rain Man, and it was probably about 5 or 10 minutes of play here that's gotten him the control points. So, again, as Billy said, if you play Nips in Seattle, and Nips in Seattle looks like it will be happening, do not let him get to the last 10 minutes.
Janissa killed another one.
3 to go. A Calamity here would actually be good. Piston sprays.
I still don't understand
So-
why he's not Calamity yet.
So Janissa has killed one. She is walking up. I would imagine she's lining up 2 of them. Now the problem I see here is he's leaving himself 1 Fenblade and 1 shot from Dozer and Smig.
Actually charging and then Virtuoso shooting.
Yeah, so Dozer could potentially pick up one of his own models in the back and throw it at Bane, or take the shot. I think the throw is probably the right call, because you're going to go to about mat 7, mat 8, as opposed to rat 3 or so.
We'll bear in mind with Calamity, he goes up to rat 2, aims 4, bank shot 6, Calamity 8, rat 8. Yeah,
Rat 8.
you take the shot.
Okay, so
Rat
you
8 by 16.
take the shot there.
I mean, possible 3 theory, but what else is gonna do?
Has
You can go for a boost.
He's actually not putting Calamity on, he's just boosting the spray, which leaves him... Has he put the double attacks onto the Fenblade?
Oh, now he cast Calamity on the knockdown one.
Cannot cast Calamity because it is cost 3. So he's got Dozer. He's aiming. He is not using bank shot. And he does it. Unbelievable! Listen to the crowd go wild. Well done, Nips. Well done. Nips in Seattle! That is one of the... And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Trent Dennison plants the kiss on the lips. One of the greatest things you'll ever see. Wow.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for following this commentary. Appreciate it all.